3 you guys 6 more exciting rounds.
Yep, after seeing what happened yesterday between B and C, we're excited once again to bring in Group A once more back into the fray against Group C. And again, I've been
highlights for the past 2 days. Pretty messy, but that's kind of the change we like, right? RQ once more still at the top, but that all changes today as they have exhausted their games, at least for week number 4. But I news is that a lot of teams are
really good. Day number 10 here at FFWC, but I also think that PE unfortunately hasn't been able to find the building blocks to get back into that prime position. They've definitely got.
There's been some growing pains for PE, right? A constant struggle that they have faced over the past few seasons, and of course they are not alone. They're in this rat race against teams like Onyx, Olympus, and Bigatron Delta, who are all playing today from Group C. You got EVOS Divine, Twisted Minds, and also Heavy. But from Group A, PE Sports, Buriram United Esports, AG Global around Vamos, and Star.
And in Group C, we have EVOS, Onyx, WAG, Twisted Minds, Heavy, as well as BTR. This group has been looking very good. Twisted Minds, unfortunately, didn't exactly have the best day yesterday. Hopefully, they're going to make up for that today against RU and as well as AG, who've consistently performed throughout the tournament.
And of course, not to forget, have to keep our eyes on Vamos, right? So far, they are just slightly, well, I should say slightly, they're 61 points behind Star Knight Esports, who are both at the bottom, very unfortunate. In fact, out of the 6 teams we have today, 4 of them are in the bottom 6, so there's a lot of time, a lot of chances for them to catch up, make up for some lost points, hopefully break into the top 2, shift up the standings a little bit, but we also can confidently say that the race for top 3 is alive.
Yep, the race for top 3 is going to be the point differential between second and third so far has been closing in fast. And right now, RQ Kazu sits on top, but that's going to change for sure. There's even attack all around might be able to start breaking into that bracket if they have just a really good day.
And it's good to see that attack all around is in the conversation because there was a season or kind of a period of time where attack all around sort of disappeared for the competitive scene, not making it through to the big stage. And now this return, more impactful, more ferocious than ever. But they're also up against teams like the WAG, who personally, for me, has been the biggest surprise from Vietnam.
Yep, they've achieved some level of consistency, very good around their team play, and especially with their star player Rising, continues to show why he should be considered one of the best snipers here in the lobby. But then again, he's pulled clutches out, but without the rest of his team, it's really difficult to close out games.
And that, I think, also has been kind of the staple for WAG. Vietnam teams in general, right, likes to play as a team. But I think X4 has been the standout and a consistent one as well from week 1 all the way until now. This is not a team that just joined the competitive scene, but they definitely have went through some shuffles. And the fact that they are now in the lead is crazy. But like you said, support system is important, and X4 is also supported by Alan.
Yep, Alan has been doing such a good job, not only as a dedicated rusher, he likes to scout in the earlier stages of the game. He knows how to buy a lot of time, especially on the pullback when things don't go their way. But overall, to rely on him as that entry fragger, he does get the job done.
Yeah, he definitely does. And I think that's what kind of allowed AG to really edge out in a lot of these kind of encounters. In fact, they are one of the teams with a top 3 Booyah count, right? RQ Kazu in first with 11, VRU in second with 8, and then followed by WAG with 7. But we also got to look at one of the other teams from Vietnam, not doing too well, PE Sports as well as Star Knight Esports, both in 13 and 16 spot respectively.
Now, when we're talking about the 13th to 16th spot, there are a lot of teams who are actually pretty close, pretty neck and neck to actually overtake Onyx Olympus currently directly. Remember that people who want to qualify for the point rush need to make top 12 by the end, towards the end of this tournament. They're going to be trying to earn points on Bermuda, Purgatory, Alpine, Kalahari, Nextera, and an RNG map at the very end of the day.
It's a business as usual. The random map kind of gives you a second chance, but I would say surprisingly up to this point, a lot of get a booyah on Alpine, and we roll Alpine again for game 6. The same team doesn't win the map, which I feel like it's a good. Everyone else put up a good fight. Perhaps today is going to be the same. We have heavy hitters from the Thailand side. BRU, AG, attack all around. 4 out of the 5 Goliaths in today's lobby.
Fingers crossed we do see that is going to be Bermuda once again, because we've seen a lot of teams perform very well on it. When we look on the top 3 teams, we're seeing that Ffws Divine, RQ Kazu, WAG is part of that conversation. We're not seeing VRU.
This kind of draws the conclusion of the Indonesian region. Even for Bermuda, right? Ffws Divine, RQ Kazu are followed by WAG. Thankfully, RQ Kazu is not playing today, but even then, when you look at Ffws Divine, they are 20 points total ahead of WAG. Booyah counts, they have 3 more than WAG.
I don't know what Ffws Divine has figured out about this map, but they seem to always perform on it. Even if they're not achieving a Booyah, they manage to get top 3 pretty consistently overall. So that's why I'm excited to see if Bermuda gets played again for our 6th map of the day. Then again, we should keep note that some of the top dogs here are going to start adjusting to the playstyles, right? Because we didn't get to see Group A play yesterday, they got to double check on where Group C likes to generally drop. How are they playing so far? The constant adaptation to an ever-changing meta.
Pretty surprising that we are not seeing any Thai, certainly not BRU, who in retrospect has been one of the consistent teams on all maps except Kalahari and sometimes Negra. We gotta also look at the top 3 most used characters in terms of active skill. Tatsuya is a no-brainer, right? Just absolutely dumpstering every single other character in the game with more than 2,000 times used, then followed by Skyler, and then
I mean, let's keep in mind that this is the entirety of the tournament, right? This is pre-patch and also now collecting data from post-patch. I'm curious to see what the post 2 weeks, but so far, I think that now with the active skill being purchasable, could allow teams to get creative with the compositions.
Yeah, and I think the skill cards has really been a big game changer. We've seen teams go for double Riptide Rhythm from the Skyler that really allows those broad destructive abilities. Some kind of mix it up a little bit. I get a Tatsuya and a Skyler to aid me in these rushes, but the passives are also a big part of the player's toolkit, right? The Awaken Andrew, of course, being the staple. Then you got Joseph and Shani, who, if you had told them 1 year ago, they wouldn't even be in top 5, but now they are one of the most used ones.
Well, I mean, we can say that with a bunch of characters here. There's so many already invested in Free Fire for its competitive season. So far, majority of them haven't been touched. There's always going to be some better than others, or others who are going to do the exact same thing, but even better. These Awakened forms have been kind of interesting to see. I do wish that maybe the patch would address more to really change up the meta, but then again, it's already one big patch. We got to let it settle first to see how everybody else adapts, because when we look at the top 3 used weapons so far, even though the Tripton's grenade launcher mode has been nerfed overall, doesn't really matter. It still hits hard. It's still viable. I do hope that maybe the Bison is going to get overtaken by the double akimbo vectors.
Hey, you're playing a very dangerous game there, buddy.
Hey, man, look, I don't think it's going to be like 2018, right? Was it 2018? Oh, no, sorry, 2020.
2020, yeah.
2020 between 2021.
2021. 2020 is very first MCP major for all regions. That was quite a time because we saw a lot of. That was kind of like the birth of players like Cobra, right? The Vector Akimbo. Oh, that was a nightmare for a lot of people who are still trying to figure out close quarter combat, because you just get rolled over by this one guy who spends his entire lifetime practicing one weapon in the game. But after that, they kind of changed up the patch a little bit. We see shotguns and snipers that I feel does give a lot more variety to the team. But then again, it gave birth to teams like, especially the Thai teams, who in every single meta always finds a way.
Yep, I think they're all rounded, right? Their snipers are really, really accurate. Their fraggers, their rushers are really good at what they do. Even the supports, right? A very specialized roles specific to some teams. I mean, some teams, because other teams prefer to just go triple Tatsuya, let's just all rush in. If we overwhelm them with numbers, we get the advantage, we'll eventually win the gunfight. But I think that Thai teams are fundamentally very strong overall. That's why you're seeing that the overall standings is going to be dominated by them, with a bit of splashes with the better performers from Vietnam and as well as Indonesia.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think but it's good to see that every single region still has their own flavor, right? Thailand, they love the Tatsuya, and then you look at some of the Indonesian or Vietnamese teams. Oh, they love the no Tatsuya comp. We run double A124, one Skylar, and perhaps a Steffi. Full utility, but then we make up for it with our pets, the Dreki to get info, or the Outrun with the Dinoculus. One of the few teams that deserves a lot more attention, considering that right now they're in 7th spot, kind of on their claimed glory. Still a long way, catching up with teams like Falcons and BRU, but this, I think, is the best attack all around that we've seen in a while.
In a long while, in a matter of fact. After Friday's games, the fact that they clutched it first on Bermuda, really taking, it's hard to say whether they're really taking advantage of the pass, but they definitely found something that day. And we'll see whether or not that was a fluke, the same process, and turn it into a formula.
And at the same time, we are also still searching for the first team to potentially get that holy grail of 6 booyahs in a day, right? The current record set was by BRU a season ago, 5 out of 6 booyahs, and then I think the second one was by RQ Kazu just this season, probably in week 2, where they got 4 out of 6. So if a team can complete that 6 booyahs in a day, I think that will set you up for 3-4 rounds at least, right, where you kind of don't perform.
I think you don't have to play the point rush at that point. If you get 6 booyahs in a day, why go into a point rush at all? Just give the man the advantages as soon as they get to playoffs.
We just send them into the grand finals with 8 extra hit start points.
It's like the golden snitch, right? That's exactly what it is. A bypass to get straight into the finals. I mean, that would be a fun idea, but honestly, I do think it's quite impossible for a majority of these teams. Even for some of the top teams, I don't doubt that BRU might be able to make that happen again. 5 booyahs in a day out of the 6 maps. But considering that everybody in the top 1% of Free Fire here in Southeast Asia has really caught on and caught up with the overall skill base, it's anybody's game.
And the only region playing catch-up is definitely Malaysia. We got a lot to work on, but it's good to see Legalov back on the playing field after a bit of a hiatus. Right now, finally joined the main roster of Vamos, but for now, the stars to watch: Get High from BRU, Krillin from WAG, and Jack from Onyx. Young stars really stepping out, veterans and aspiring players, aspiring pros alike on the same playing field. I think, it does bring a tear to my eye, especially watching some of these players who have been at the highest level and some of them making it big.
Yeah, I mean, they are making, I think they can do even more, right? Because these are stars must watch, and I think that they're getting their stardom, right? They're definitely there, but they haven't clutched as many situations to get them over that very final hurdle to become a legend.
Can't wait to see if that storyline will change today. We are getting ourselves strapped in. Get your parachutes ready. You don't want to splatter onto the ground because we're going to Bermuda, back to where everything originated. The BRU being literally a team that can overtake RQ Kazu after this round if all things go well. I think the rest of the teams can catch up to them.
Well, we'll see which one of these teams are going to catch up as we go into the ocean deep, where both Pacific meet. It's Bermuda. Let's see which one of these teams are going to be coming out alive as we see the flight path. Hopefully, yesterday we only saw one of those throughout the 6 maps. Hopefully the flight path is going to bless some of our teams here today.
It's an Easter egg hunt. It's very, very rare to find a flight path that kind of screws with some of the teams. Here we get a very generous one right down the middle from all the way to the southwest. Star Knight instantly dropped to Sentosa, one of their common spots. But you should expect BR to go to peak without any contest. Clock Tower should be also freed up. This time P Esports actually splitting into a 2-2 formation, taking Clock Tower and Factory.
Looks like nobody wants to contest Cape Town, and Onyx really going to take advantage of that as the first ring already pulling towards the southeastern side of the map. BTR and as well as EWALS are going to have a little bit of time to rotate on over. First blood.
Fortunately, it's going to be Vamos in their 2 points. Easily gathered, deal and stop, both get 1. Vamos kind of off to quite a shaky start, but from Delta, they are nearby.
I can't blame the guy, right? Got landed just behind him, got a weapon first, sometime. But now we see that BTR actually wants to get involved with AG.
Forward. goes for a trade, in fact, willing to take that exchange. This is him from Pyongyang. Saifa also providing backup. BTR just kind of a shaky entrance there, giving 2 more points to AG.
They just wanted to see what was going on, right? They thought maybe this engagement was going to happen a little drag out a little bit longer than it probably should have. And I would have assumed that the assumption was pretty accurate, but then AG cleared them up pretty quick. Now, first 2 minutes of the game, pre 2 minutes of the game, they already have 4 eliminations.
It's one of the best possible start you could ask for, especially AG. If they want to even have a chance to be in top 3, you have to kind of get through Falcons. That would be a difference of 16 points, but then to get to BRU, you need more than 100 points to make it happen. So for AG, they might just get more out of this heavy.
How AG is going to handle this, right? So far, they've been winning a majority of their gunfights, but it hasn't been full squad v squad. You see Saifa rushing down, get nice, and creating an advantage for them, and it looks like they're going to be farming 3 squads around them together as AG just bustling their way through with just man advantage. So far, I think that Twist the Minds gotta get on out of here at all. Finding these free picks is obviously nice, but Xboxy shot out of the driver's seat almost straight away. BRU gonna be able to find 2 eliminations. Take their time overall, but wow, Damage King, Saifa already at 1,090 so early on. In this game, it looks like these early engagements have been working out very well for AG, and like Husky mentioned before, probably to catch up with points, maybe to get into top 2, hopefully. But let's jump on over to PE at this point of time. Take a breather for the moment here. Hopefully they do get that road. Looks like they're on the southern side of the map, and hopefully do find points of their own. PE Sports has had a little bit of a slow start in the tournament. They have found some really successful booyahs, but really get a formula to get it down to a science. Going to be a little inconsistent. So far, majority of the teams have recovered from the early game damage, but now we see that BTR twisting Legolas. Members of Ffws here unable to respond to it. Legolas is going to go down. We're seeing that since elimination, we should be able to recover from this. I don't see the rest of their teammates in the vicinity as well. This means that the POI is going to be controlled by them. AAA now having to deal with AG, who's circling around here. Ooh, this is going to be a little tough. Walking into the foundation already, trying to get into the high ground here. As we see that attack all around. They're not going to spread out this time around. They want to still stay at full fighting force, maintain cohesion, and take down the rushers first, knowing that at least one of their snipers won't have an angle in such a dense space by Clock Tower. In the meantime, AG looking to see one of the members of Vamos looking down towards Clock Tower, scouting it out, and it looks like he's going to hop on in to get a better look. Jun wants to get involved and might be bringing a friend along with him. AG making the smart decision, just slowing down their approach. Just the presence of Vamos alone makes them want to take the primary position on the top towards Clock Tower, look down towards attack all around in case they want to try and escape the vicinity. Next ring revealed, the edge of it touching the Clock Tower. The engagement begins. Caramel taking his time, trying to work on how much he can actually pepper attack all around in this vicinity. Heavy and as well as Vamos, not too far away here. Doesn't look like Vamos wants to be in here just yet. But for now, Onyx Olympus, the Knight into the ring, and it looks like, oh man, the Star Knight's taking so much damage from Onyx. Now that we get the full perspective here, the sniper is doing so much work. Making sure that it's really difficult, but Gardu has got to slow them down. Don't let them into the ring. Slowly fall back to the position. Keep LOS available. The sniper doing a good job. Pulls on backwards, but still gets knocked down by an aid coming in from Neem. At the same time, Zairu will take the second floor here. Maybe he's able to get a nade off Neem, still alive. As Gary is able to bring back Gardu in the middle of the fight. AG in a flash of their own. Eject. Ooh, getting taken down by Gary. Looking to trade back. Instantly, Onyx. The Knights are not making it easy at all. The Star Knight, 18 here, going to try almost connecting onto Zairu. Supposed to play out the running out of resources here. Mike left, they turn around, quick trade coming in from Gary to make sure that 18 here doesn't get the doesn't get the full elimination. Turning them off, but they've already forced themselves into this corner. They need their sniper to get involved. He has to reposition as they're inside this building. It's tough. They get 1 for 1, but still inside. He needs to secure these eliminations as quickly as possible. 18 deer and Vice do find 1 for 1. Checking guard who need to finish this off fast. This is taking way too long. But at the same time, they don't have to worry about birds. Wise doing some good work here, finds a knockdown of his own, thanks to 18 years Shogun. He continued to swing, and instantly, Onyx unable to actually deal with him, trying to gatekeep, but ends up getting pushed back out. At the same time, we do see the BRU going into a full engagement here against WAG. BRU, they got pretty good odds for the rest of this map. Allen trying his best, buying time, like I mentioned before. Wasana does find a double kill almost straight away, but Joanna's grenade launcher is just putting too much pressure, forcing WAG, hopping over his glue wall and taking Cyrus down. The rest could fall suit. Not sure if any of the WAG members are... Oh, wait, one manages to get through. The Ghost, living up to his name, sneaks his way through. Yeah, so, I mean, BRU, they played it well. They played it really, really well, but a lot of it just comes through launchers, right? Once somebody whips out a launcher, you're trying to break line of sight, you end up, like, unconsciously grouping up together to a safe place, which is usually your teammates, which is counterintuitive against the grenade launcher, which is super unfortunate. With that being said, we still see that BTR Delta is in it to win it. Rushers are going to make their way in towards the ring from the northwestern side of the map. We see that Onyx looking to recover Rigarian as well as Zyru already brought back up to life. Let's see how Attack All Around is going to approach WAG. They got the initial knock, and now they've got WAG on the run. Almost as well as Heavy in full. Well, g'day! Knocking himself down. Unfortunately, Saming is able to get a shot out towards Onyx side, but BTR in the middle of their own fight, winning out against BR is huge so far. We'll come back to that as soon as this match is done, as Evos is currently just pushing Heavy out so fast and eliminating them at 12th place, cutting their escape.
Yeah, it's going to be Evo's Divine trying to survive the onslaught. I mean, they lost 2 people, Attack All Around, about to jump on them. And Evo's Divine surrounded from every single angle. There's only a couple of glue walls in the building to keep them safe. Attack All Around, ready for that final assault. They clean this up quick before Vamos arrives, and now circling around the members of Evo's Divine like a school of sharks. They would take their launch pad to gain distance. Over the bridge they go as Vamos just brushes over the shoulders. Attack All Around, not able to claim anyone.
Yep, still like School of Sharks right after the movie Sharknado. I think that is a very valid move for them as BTR now looking over BRU. This engagement has been going on for a very long time, and they still have not let up. They're trying to gatekeep BRU, making it into the ring, or at the very least, keep them out for as long as possible. If they can take him out, that'd be great for the rest of the lobby. BRU not gonna make it easy. Young the first to fall. See that WAG get eliminated in the middle of this fight. Masana get high, getting real hot here. Koja eliminated almost straight away. They still haven't traded a single member from the side of BTR as Joanna finds things at the same time. It looks like BTR has bit off more than they can chew as Aikal is running with his tail between his legs.
8 eliminations for BRU so far. BTR not able to hold a candle to these people. AG Global still on a killing spree so far, taking a lot of angles, covering the entrance of Evo's Divine, who are mostly coming in from one direction. Abax the exception. Sci-Fi knows where he is, looking for the isolation of the Evo's members. They see Ray taking the launch pad, as well as G'day. Both of them getting shot at. Down in the red knife on top of the roof. Aimgar shows up. This could be the end for Evo's Divine, as AG Global completely surrounds them for every single angle.
Wait, unless Attack All Around want to bail Evo's Divine out here, you could look to just give that position up to AG, and that would be a full structure. Or they could maybe punish AG on that push-in. And I think AG is aware of this. Here comes the push-in from AG towards Evo's Divine. how many of their angles are going to be covered here. Oh, AG able to just stand out in the open. Looks like attack all around have been scouted out, and they've been looking a completely different direction from Onyx Olympus.
Vivo's Divine, they're going to be facing some pressure, but at least they were able to keep most of the team alive and now put AG Global outside the circle. It's going to get very crowded soon. Twisted Minds makes an appearance. PE Sports on in front of them. Star Knight on the low ground. It's going to be tough for us to even make it up there, especially with PE Sports guarding the edge of the circle. Going to have Twisted Minds trying to bulldoze shoot them, and with Ban going down thanks to attack all around, PE Sports might not for any longer.
Yeah, attack all around really taking advantage of the angles. I think that Twist of Minds, now they can really slow down and focus on the Star Knights down on the low ground. Because at this point, PE Sports aren't too much of a threat, especially when it's only just one man there, and I think they're aware of it. That's why they're covering their backsides and making sure that the walk-up is going to be a dangerous zone for the Star.
Let's see if Twisted Minds can find a way in, because right now they are able to cut through to the northern side. Star Knights will come up from the low ground to try and challenge them, take away that space. PE Sports so far a non-factor. Twisted Minds can wipe out Star Knights. They're going to get a lot of space for themselves.
For how long, though? This is going to cost the Star Knights a lot of resources. All the blue melters, as well as the ice grenades. They're effective. They're good at what they do. But you might need them for the end game. Star Knights know they won't get to the end game if they don't take out their competitors right now. As they start go for the full engagement, Nameless is already down with Expoxy to find immediately after. Straight away. Oh, BTR ends up getting eliminated in the middle of this fight. Still 3 members strong. They need to be able to flush out the rest of the members of the Twisted Minds, and it looks like they've gotten a majority of them all already. Still, it's 2 for 1, ready to go. They can get Diamond. That could open up so many more opportunities. Ra's the next to fall as attack all around, thirding them from behind, and going to be able to eliminate the Star Knights straight away, and as well as Twisted Minds. Attack all around looks to be gaining mega points.
All around, the winner of that trade so far. On the other side, you have BRU basically surrounding Vamos. Riptide Rhythm breaks the blue wall, and because Vamos' chance of even having the Booyah in sight. 6th place is going to be where Vamos ends up in. BRU, they did lose Jonah somewhere down the road as PE Sports gets wiped out in 5th. 4 teams remain. BRU might be the next to go as Get High gets knocked down by AG Global from the high ground stop, finishing him off. Back to pick up, especially when they don't have the leverage of the high ground.
Yeah, all squads have taken significant casualties. Nobody at full fighting force. And BRU trying to stabilize what they have already. AG take a wider stance, realizing that they have 3 members, and the only team that has 3 members strong attack all around, who's really taking their time. They want AG to collide with BRU.
It's not going to be any easier. Not with attack all around, just bulldozing through BRU. The only team with the full squad, or at least most of the squad alive. Same as AG Global, of course, but attack all around looking a lot more healthy, a lot more motivated. Turn the attention over to AG Global. Bombardment from every single angle. You survive, jumps into the monster truck, disembarks, and just trying to run Foki down. Actually, do some chip damage, but Limit and Jump God gets the job done from elsewhere. And Duo will also expire. Onyx Olympus left with just Gary, and he's just prone. Limit just sprays him down. Attack all around, showing up big time with the first Booyah.
Oh man, attack all around looking good today. Repeating that formula this time. Didn't have to do some sick clutches. Dominating the lobby, making sure that they neuter everybody. Cut them at the ankles, get them at the heels.
That's what you want. We literally just talk about attack all around looking the best that they've ever been for a long time. And they've kind of just proved it to everyone with this Booyah. Also increasing their chances of making it further up the leaderboard. They were not too far behind Twisted Minds, WAG, and considering this opening, we might see attack all around be an actual contender for that throne.
Yeah, let's see whether this momentum is going to carry out throughout the day, right? A lot of teams do well in the beginning and start to gas out towards the end. It can be a bit of an issue, especially when we are just running out of time for the league, right? Point Rush is not too long, is not far away.
A lot of these teams are really starting to figure out kind of that that mid to late game rotation. We're seeing a lot of squads, even though they lose members, they were able to get them back in time. So we don't see much of that squad wipe before the 8th or 9th minute mark. And even WAG putting up a dang good fight against BRU at their home turf at Peak. Of course, this one didn't really work out. BRU claiming the victory at the very end. But the sheer guts it takes to do that is very commendable.
People are being less scared of BRU, right? They're really going out. Some teams might even go out of their way to take on such a Goliath of a team. And I think, that bravery is commendable, but it just goes to show that it's anybody's game, right? Without that level of respect, I think that BRU is going to get jumped on a little more often than they should. And yes, they are still winning the majority of their fights, but you could see that they had no time to really recover, just fight after fight after fight.
Really put pressure on some of these teams is to bring the fight to them, right? You don't want to let them take that step towards you. You don't want to let them kind of get that engagement going. And I think WAG, they're on the right path. You bring the fight to BRU, you make them feel like you are also a force to be reckoned with. And more teams doing that means that the Thai teams won't have that much of a luxury to kind of just roll over everyone else.
Yep, they got to maintain resistance, right? Make every piece of ground really difficult to take. Then, naturally, teams are going to lean in the most comfortable areas with least resistance. With that being said, let's have a talk with Attack All Around with the interview.
It looks like they always get booyah every time they came to attend the competition right now. And this is Kuka from Attack All Around! Yay! What happened to you guys after we opened the second half of the league? You always get booyah every day you attend the competition.
เกิดอะไรขึ้นคะทำไมแบบว่าพอการแข่งขันเนี้ยเริ่มอะทีม AA มักจะเป็นทีมแรกที่ต้องได้บูย่า
ก็เพราะผมบอกว่าผมจะลั่นผมก็ลั่นแล้วครับ
because I already told you guys that I'm gonna achieve the booyah and then I got it.
Yes. Before we start their competition, I talked to Kuka and we said about, oh, why you look so good today? And he said, I think because I'm so handsome. So I want to ask him, if you can rate yourself 1 to 10, do you think will you get the point?
Okay.
Rate yourself about your
ก็คือ
look.
พี่ยูพูดว่าตอนแรกอะมีการคุยกับพี่ยูใช่ไหมเรื่องแบบว่าแต่งตัวดีคิดว่าตัวเองหล่ออะไรประมาณนี้คิดว่าจะถ้าเกิดเต็ม10อะให้คะแนนความหล่อตัวเองเท่าไหร่
เต็ม10เลยเหรอพี่
เต็ม10ให้เท่าไหร่
11
Wow.
Okay, so
หล่อเกิน
out of 10 he will give himself 11 because he's too handsome.
That's my boy. That's my boy. Okay, if you talk about other guys in our league, do you think who is the handsome or the most good-looking guy in our league?
ทุก region ใช่ไหม
Yeah, in our league, every region.
ก็คือคิดว่าในลีกของเราเนี่ยใครหล่อที่สุด
นอกจากเราแล้วที่แบบมองว่าเฮ้ยนี่มันใช้ได้ว่ะคนนี้
ปุ่นก่อนครับ
Attack All Around Pungot is the most handsome guys in the league.
Why?
By his opinion ทำไมคะ
ก็หล่ออะ
Cause he's just
สาวๆชอบ
handsome, cute and popular among girls.
Yes, okay. So, anything you want to say to your fan because I think they are expecting more booyah from you guys.
มีอะไรอยากฝากถึงแฟนๆไหมคะคิดว่าแฟนๆน่าจะคาดหวังที่จะได้เห็นบูย่าจากทีมเราเพิ่ม
ก็ฝากเชียร์ทีม Attack All Round ด้วยนะครับ พวกเราจะทำให้เต็มที่ครับ
Please share and support Attack All Around. We will do our best.
So, let's see they're gonna get next booyah or not. Now, back to you, Shoutcaster.
Very for the man,
Handsome and to
and
be great at the
rates
game.
himself pretty high in terms of the in terms of looks. But I agree, sometimes you not only gotta win games, you gotta win it with style, you gotta win it with the swag. This guy is the Rizzler of the winning game 1. He can talk whatever he wants.
As long as you hold that title, as long as you're 11 out of 10, you can get away with anything. You can park in handicap spots and still get your coffee, no problem, no questions asked, right? It's just a general benefit of being that good looking. But yeah, for this upcoming game, I think that Bermuda has been where we've seen Attack All Around shine. I want to see them continue out throughout the day, see them have that consistent performance, and maybe they might be able to break into the top 5 by the end, I feel, if they keep up with this trajectory.
Too far behind everyone else. I think this would be a very good sign for Attack All Around, kind of going into the last 2 weeks of the knockout stage, right? It's fair to say they've already guaranteed point rush for sure. It's a matter of how far can they take this. I think they're on the right track. They have kind of an explosive round 1 with Limit being the MVP, 7 eliminations, almost 3,000 damage, 3 headshots to boot.
I mean, he is a great player so far. He achieved the Booyah on Friday, clutch healing through and outlasting everybody else. And even today on Bermuda, didn't have to do the clutch this time round, but a more dominating performance from Attack All Around. It seems like they're hyper aware of the teams and their cohesion, making sure that they can start neutering them early on, especially once we get to like the 5th ring. You can see them harassing everybody else, but they're not fully committing. They had opportunities to turn their sights towards WAG, but they prioritize not only Onyx, but also Speed Esports, making sure that even Twisted Minds got knocked out as well, really capitalizing on the weakest moments of some of these teams.
Absolutely. And I think, for Attack All Around, them and AG Global both had a very impressive opening. And, it's not a surprise at this point that AG Global somehow always finds themselves having someone on the Elim leaders board, this time having 2 of them. Sypha being there with 7 alongside Limit, then also followed by Start with 6, then Wasana 5, Feist MKS as well with 5 eliminations. So Elim leaders so far, I think, not too much of a surprise, except for Feist MKS. Haven't seen him for quite a while. Glad to see him on that chart again.
He's fragging out. Everybody's fragging out, right? And I think that now qualified not only for point rush, but we need to start figuring out everybody else. Who can we start bullying early on? A lot of the decision making really just boils down to, can we successfully execute our plans?
I think that has been a problem for some of especially the Malaysian teams. I remember speaking to some of them when it comes down to, I think, Todak and Expand. In this case, I think it also applies for Vamos, that somehow just understanding the plan is one thing, but they definitely get capped when it comes to the CQC. So Attack All Around, 24 points to start off game number 1, same as AG Global as well, both tied in fact. And then BRU got 19, kind of expected. Star Knights 14, and
16 eliminations overall. Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It definitely is kind of expected. Doesn't really change too many places overall, but it allows Attack All Around to finally touch the top 5. And from this point onwards, right, if they want to be able to start catching up to the top 4, it's roughly about a 40-ish points to really overtake and have a little bit of a buffer for the upcoming days. And luckily, Falcons aren't playing today, so this is their time to really keep tabs.
Not a super comfortable spot, but you're feeling really good about yourselves, right? You get to see how everyone else plays. I think you can say the same for RQ Kazu. Falcons definitely have a lot of burden, considering that they did win EWC, and coming back into the new season, they so far have still been able to keep up in the top 5. But competitions are getting more heated, right? Everyone else is just improving over time. Attack All Around is a very good example. RQ Kazu still remains being one of the biggest surprise.
Maybe these teams are going to have a bit more trouble as we look at the game schedule. It's going to be Purgatory next on the chop and block for these teams, and so far, Purgatory has been relatively interesting, right? The early game has definitely got a lot bloodier since the very beginning, where people were kind of just throwing themselves at each other. Now it's very targeted. They're looking for weak teams that they can get some early points off of. We might see a couple of changes in terms of drop sites for some of these teams, especially for Group A, but Group C, I would imagine that they're going to either stick or adjust. The teams who have been successfully pulling this off aren't going to be playing today, unfortunately. That's our RRQ, but Attack All Around as well as BRU have been known to perform on Purgatory.
To play around one of the biggest maps in the competitive pool, especially when certain teams have the tendency, Twisted Minds, for example, love to take the mainland south of Moat House. Play head-to-head, we're going to look at Limit and Cypher, both players who had an explosive game number 1 with 7 eliminations each, with Cypher having 6 more headshots. But I think when you compare him to Limit, who was the finals MVP of the FFSI last year, he's got some competition.
He definitely has some competition, right? Even when we're talking about like the MVP boards and stuff like that, Limit he's catching up. He's catching up. And maybe for some of the other fraggers out there, maybe these survivors could use a little bit of put themselves up into shape. Because again, very different play styles is going to encourage teams to play in very different ways. And for AG, finding those early eliminations really set them up for a lot of success towards the end. But Attack All Around, really taking their time, minimize your early engagements, really capitalize on the weaker teams, and then look to neuter towards the end game.
Oh, this is gonna pan out for some of the front runners so far, and even if BRU didn't get the booyah, they still got crazy points. Let's see, Purgatory changes that. Attack All Around will now have a big target on their backs, as BRU being the first team to break through the 700 total point accumulated. The Purgatory will continue to help them reach potential 800 by the end of the day if they keep this performance up.
So, without further ado, let's make it to Purgatory, the DMV of the afterlife, a place in between life and death. Good luck to all of our survivors and teams out there as we see the flight path right now. Let's see whether or not it's going to be good, whether it's going to be cursed. I'm leaning more into good. It has been a pretty good day, a good start for Attack All Around, as well as Bermuda.
Yeah, especially when we come down to this map, I want to see if there will be any deviation. Seems like it's still the same post-patch in terms of drop zones for these teams. It was Divine on the Moat House area. Twisted Minds will be waiting for them to leave that place. Whereas for BRU, they're going to take the entire Western Island, only sharing a part of it with Onyx Olympus.
Interesting. A lot of teams really taking their time here. Nobody like pushing straight for Ski Lodge. I think they're just waiting for the first ring to actually appear before they make some decisions. And it's pretty good for BRU and as well as Onyx in their typical drop sides of Golf Course as well as Marble Works respectively. Expect an early engagement from, if not, their own battle line. First ball up against the start.
And Raz will take a couple of shots to the head first. Heavy being in a slightly better position on that high ground. As Star Knights, they will occupy the entire ground level of the lumber mill, which does yield a bit more resources, but Heavy seems like they don't want to back down. They have Kabi kind of trying to come in for a flank to find these pickups, but Star Knights are doing a really good job of staying hidden.
Yeah. Really taking their time with this one. They don't want to go down so early on. They desperately need these points. I think it goes for Heavy as well, but it looks like Hans as well is getting nice. Both getting knocked down. Has Overwatch over them. Does find a trade back almost straight away. Not bad, but still no secured eliminations for the Star Knights.
And I think that is as good as it gets for Star Knights, right? And Heavy, they actually had to go for a revive. We saw a trade already. 5 MKS getting dropped, needing assistance from his team. Vam was showing up to the vicinity, so Star Knights might not feel as safe as they were, turning from having an advantageous start to perhaps getting cleaned up by a third party.
Oh, it's not looking great. Their backs are wide open. Liam is in the safest spot that he could find. Maybe he can give Overwatch, but the angles aren't really working for him. Legoth is already down. Nobody's able to pick him up because they're going to have to transverse a wide open field. In the meantime, so far with 3 eliminations, Vamos holds the elimination leader title for now. Heavy's still backed up into a corner. Three of their members are still standing. Don't know whether they have enough currency to actually purchase the fourth. So we see that Vamos is now here to take space.
Collected by June, very well done. And actually, Vamos having 4 points already, 4 eliminations, 3 of them on McRory. So really collecting the scraps from all these initial engagements. You might find number 5 as Heavy has Get Nice right behind these logs. Does find McRory though. Unfortunately, the drop not working in his favor, so Vamos ends up losing one of their members.
Yeah, he's holding a very difficult angle, especially when only his head pops up, and especially when he has a shotgun. But we look across the map and BTR finding the rest of the Heavy member. Hans, unfortunately, going down there. Looks like Get Nice should be the only remaining member. With no means of escape, Get Nice is going to have to try his best to movement his way out of here. But with plenty of glue walls making it difficult to find him, Jun doesn't seem to spot him out. He hears him, comes to Tatsuya dash. Oh wait, Legolas ends up getting knocked one more time. And the snipe from Jun gonna put Get Nice down.
Well, thankfully, Get Nice didn't take out Legolas also, because that would have been quite a heavy price to pay for Vamos, right? Just to find this one isolated guy. But Roy did get revived after that previous encounter, as unfortunately from Gacha, he is not in a good spot. So far away from the rest of his team. Zairu clearly having the advantage, sprays him down, finds an easy point.
Interesting. Where are they? Currently central. Okay. This is quite the split. All right. It looks like Onyx rotated towards the southern side of the ring. I would have imagined that they held their position on that hill, but the fact that they're down here looks like they want to also get involved with some of the action in case any of the teams start rotating from the southern side of the map. But let's look at Twisted Minds right now. So they got a two-pronged attack against Evos Divine. Their side flanks are taking a lot of punishment, but they need to hold on and eventually maybe even regroup.
Divine losing Ray to Diamond is definitely not what they want. A-Back's second one to get knocked down. They did revive one of their fallen members. Just in mind, they can continue holding on to that high ground. This stack not really safe, in fact. It doesn't really give you much cover from these long snipes, and seizing it is very easy. So Saming did fall prior to this engagement, so Twisted Mind, they gotta really make use of this to drop down from Diamond straight into the arms of Aim God as he got dropped by the Trogon, and Aim God really holding Twisted Mind back. Nameless on the list, Exposy, a two-pronged attack to finally beat him up.
Yep. That's why Twisted Minds can be a little difficult, especially if you've got a wide open spread. They're really good at going to working together in 2-on-2s to start isolating their targets and forcing you to split. Regrouping probably what would have been the better option, but it's tough when you're spread so thin already. Onyx going to be playing on the outer half of the town as the UAV comes out. Attack all around, going to avoid it. It looks like Onyx is the one who threw out the UAV. With this reposition coming in from attack all around, they probably could gatekeep, but I don't think they want to take an engagement so early on. It's only the very first closure. Could take some time here, hopefully. But with attack all around, now moving towards the northern side, looking at the rest of the members, some casualties from Twisted Minds. They haven't recovered full fighting force just yet. Same goes for Heavy and as well as the Star Knights. At least we're not seeing early eliminations here, right? With no early eliminations, at the very least, these teams have time to recover and maybe have an opportunity to bounce back. But hey, give it up to BRU's Wasana. First in assists, he reached 150 assists already here at the Free Fire World Series Southeast Asia. Meantime, with Vaughn going to get marked here, and one of the members of BRU also getting marked at the same time. Oh yeah, don't see anybody on the minimap taking advantage of that just yet. Maybe they might get cut off later.
See, as we change our attention over to Vamos' side, it's going to be them and AG Global. AG Global on that high ground. This bunker would be a good place to find cover, at least temporarily. But they both are basking in the blue, so if you are Vamos, you got to try and find a way out. Dew is going to be the weak point if they can get past him, but they were not aware. A twofer for Dew. He just 2 points off his life. They were setting up for the portal goal, but it just took too much time. June finally realizes what's going on, but unfortunately the damage has been dealt. Dew does eventually expire, but Vamos needs to find an escape route.
Oh, great target acquisition, target priority even from Dew. Taking out the member who wasn't on the shop, instantly flicking on over to the member who is stuck in the shop, getting 2 free, really patient as well. He could have taken a shot at any time, maybe even landed a headshot with at the very least a lot of ease, but he wanted to wait for the perfect moment, give no opportunities for Vamos to respond.
That's just unfortunate for Vamos. Legolas also sniffed out. I believe Vamos still should have one more member alive. And indeed, that will be the case. They remain in the game. It's definitely not looking good for them.
Yeah, it's becoming even tougher. They haven't been able to find their footing. Initially getting 4 eliminations, but almost immediately struggling afterwards. McRory is going to get eliminated as well as X4 finds him. As AG tanks the blue, let's cut on over to attack all around. It looks like on their western side, they have BRU in the compound next to them. Don't know if attack all around is aware of this, and maybe even Heavy might be just south.
Yeah, maybe attack all around. One of the quieter games. WAG to the eastern side, separated by body of water. Attack all around. They do kind of split up quite a formation to cover the ground. They will see BRU just barely showing up to that compound. This could allow them to watch more than just one team. They got WAG that they could take care of, and BRU that they can keep in check, and even a zip line if they wish to relocate. And BRU playing it pretty safe, not really engaging in much fight.
They don't have to, right? They don't need to get into engagement unless it's absolutely necessary to win the position. Elimination leaders, we're seeing that Vamos sitting pretty high on top, right? 4 as well as 3 for Jun and McCrory alike. Kojan as well as Wasana and Du stuck at 2. And BRU, I think they're doing it's smart. They know that attack all around is holding on to the high ground. There's no point pushing in towards this compound because there's not enough cover to really work with to jump between without taking damage. And at the same time, they're also aware of PE Sports coming in from the northern side. So they're just waiting for the opportunity for the next ring to show and then make a decision off of that. But here comes BTR. Does BRU notice? Do they notice the glue wall just behind them?
Seems like they don't. And they end up losing one of their members. At least he's dropped double Retire Rhythm from downtown. BRU scrambling to find a way to rescue their comrades. And in fact, it seems like they are successful in doing so. The cost of a lot of health bar. BTR looking to strike when the irons is still hot. See if they can actually get something out of this. Because if BRU makes it out alive, it will be one of the greatest escape. And it seems like that is the case. Launchpad drop. BRU makes it out with a full squad. And even running into Onyx Olympus.
Oh, they have a structure of their own. Onyx was nice enough to give them a structure, but now they're on the retreat, right? Giving them the entire vicinity. And BRU going to take advantage of that. They see the monster truck actually coming down, and they know as long as they have multiple angles, they can really start pinching Onyx. They probably shouldn't have given up the ground. Could be lack of equipment. It's a little tough to stay, but Ffws Divine does hear the gunshots. We see that Gary is already knocked, but Avax as well getting involved, shooting the backs of Onyx Olympus here. And here comes, oh wait, BTR is actually fighting off Vamos. Even attack all around, getting involved in that fight as well. But here, BRU, thanks to the help of Ffws Divine, push out Onyx Olympus, and now we'll have to take the full frontal on the northern side with Ffws Divine pushing it fast.
Very surprised that BRU not only makes it out, but even racks up a couple of eliminations, and they might be the reason that Ffws Divine does not make it to the final phase. Ffws Divine already lost one of their members. You know, we need some time to get himself back up healthy, though, as Bigatron in the pursuit of BRU ends up eliminating Onyx Olympus instead. BRU slows it down.
Their time with this one. They still have one of their members in the blue. Wasana still on that front line. Wait, WAG get eliminated in the middle of that fight. And the same goes for Twisted Minds. Now, the BRU trying to turn the corner. Wow, a lot of teams are getting eliminated really, really fast. across the map as we see the gatekeeper from BRU against EVOS Divine dragging out AVAX, finally getting flushed out with the man advantage coming in from BRU. Sky forcing him to the opposite side of the compound, and this time buying is working out great, but at the same time, if they're not getting trades, if they're not finding people, AVAX still trying. Both put in one, and Jonah ends up nading himself, but yet High finds G'day, as G'day takes him out and eliminates him finally as they clear out the rest of the members of EVOS Divide.
Wow. Look at it. I mean, if you just replay the sequence of BRU that before they even got to this point, it is just mad impressive from one of the best teams in the world, from the greatest escape, from an ambush to converting that into 2 separate team wipes. BRU definitely not done just yet. Twisted Minds also, same as BRU, they got 8 eliminations to their name. And this is quite a final circle. Body of water on the northern side. Couple of big open factories, big open warehouses. That is great if you have a good sniper on your team, and Heavy is feeling the heat of Exposy that is just showering them with bullets. And not just that, even BTR joins in the fight. Meanwhile, PE Sports against AG Global on the other side with BRU basically just free firing.
AG trying to infiltrate the base of operations of PE Sports. Sypha is really deep in there. They're forced back into a corner, and Stop unfortunately overextends and turns the angle, facing his back against BRU. Sypha Nero already down. Caramel looking to finish this off, but here comes BRU as PE gets eliminated. Twisted Minds takes elimination leader. Heavy the next to fall, and BRU could have a good time with 4 against 2. Eventually, AG should come collapsing.
BRU continuing the rampage. That's 12 points. So 3 full squad wipes in a matter of a couple of minutes. Now in top 4 again. Same spot as the last round. They didn't make it to the end as they were crippled when they got to this point. But right now they are all geared up. McGrory spotted out hiding in that watchtower. Should be dispatched up pretty easily. Because Twisted Minds being the second powerhouse with Bigtron Delta, who has been chasing BRU for the entire time, now will have to wait for their turn because Twisted Minds will take them on.
Yep, it looks like Twisted Minds resupply plenty with a lot of blue wall melters put on BRU's side. BRU trying to get into the battle lines and blue walls of Twisted Minds themselves, making it chaotic and straight away running through the columns. Wasana trying his best to deal with Saming at this point of time, but he's already got the help. Mixboxy, Wasana ends up dropping. Jonah finds a Trey Kyung straight away finds CB almost instantaneously. Wait, the cluster grenades out of nowhere. Twisted Minds get eliminated straight away. And BTR, the third party of a lifetime, to eliminate the top dogs.
The greatest cash that BTR could ever reel in. They chased BRU. It slipped away from their hands. BRU went on a rampage, but all worlds will collide eventually. BTR catch up to destiny. This is a fated outcome as BRU will be left with just Moshi. Kyung even drives his monster truck away. No escape for you, buddy. It's a man-to-man fight, and we plan to make it unfair. Moshi on the run, turns around, tries to point blank, no scope with the sniper rifle. In fact, actually finds Koja down. Is Moshi gonna pull off the clutch of a lifetime? No, Mikau stops that. But Vamos now has a chance. It's a 1v2. Ikao not too healthy. But unfortunately, BTR just too composed at the end. It's the first Booyah for them today.
Woo! Clean stuff coming in from BTR, pushing their opponents in the correct order, and most importantly, taking full advantage of a bad engagement. Overextensions, a very bloody game here. So much so, I couldn't tell who was getting eliminated and who was getting elimination leader. Nuts stuff from BTR.
Also, one of the teams to watch out for, right? I mean, so far, the teams that we put on our list have been really getting those big W's. First, it was attack all around, and now Bigtron Delta. To think that they were the ones who started this chain reaction between them and BRU, and them ending it on a high note as well. This was the team to watch out for from week 1. The Dark Horses of Indonesia, they disappeared for a while, but to see them back galloping towards the top 5.
Yep, catching up really quick overall. This is a recap of the last couple of moments here. We do see, I mean, I gotta give it to BRU's Moshi, man. He was really buying so much time and honestly getting pretty close to clutching. He was just one knockdown away from maybe turning this entire map on its head.
He really could have made that happen, and if he did, it would be one of the, not just the greatest clutch, but also a throwback to FFWS 2022 Bangkok, where his clutch was essentially what won them the trophy. But we also had some pretty hype moment. I mean, AJ Global Duo finding a double headshot, and of course BRU's absolute rampage after escaping from one Indonesian team and running into two other Indonesian teams and sending them back to the lobby right afterwards.
Yeah, this chain reaction was unfortunate. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I was in Onyx position, holding that spot was probably going to be ideal. Eventually, you would have to give it up, but it looks like BRU was just faster on the trigger in a lot of these situations, right? AG ends up overextending to try and take out PE Sports. Just a lot of like fortunate series of events, but unfortunately, for Twisted Minds, getting pincered by BTR ruined their odds.
Yeah, and I think it's not even kind of Twisted Minds or BRU's fault, right? I think BRU made the right decision. They gotta pick either BTR or Twisted Minds, but when you look at the geographical location, Twisted Minds was kind of the best possible option, and BTR were just a lot more opportunistic. They waited for the fight to break out, and they came in as the janitors to sweep out 3 points. That's how you win games sometimes. You gotta play a bit dirty, and BTR knows the tricks of the trade.
They're continuing to do a very good job, but with that being said, hopefully, I'm curious to know, when you are winning this much already, could it be better? Let's jump over to the interview with BTR.
Congratulations once again, and hi Ikal.
Halo,
How are you today? You good?
good, baik-baik.
Okay, I like it. And what's your preparation for today?
Apa sih persiapan kalian untuk hari ini?
Persiapannya sih untuk lebih apa? Kita incar poin lebih tinggi aja sih, bermainnya lebih baik dari hari yang kemarin.
We are aiming for higher points and hopefully to play better than yesterday.
Oh, we will see later because we still have 5 games after this. And what do you think about the new patch?
Apa pendapat kalian tentang patch yang baru sekarang ini?
Patch yang baru sekarang sih menurutku lebih agak sedikit berbeda dari patch yang kemarin ya. Sekarang kayak nggak terlalu untuk war lebih dekat, udah agak susah sih. Sekarang lebih bermain dengan jarak jauh aja. Jarak jauh.
He said that I think this new patch is a little bit different. This is not for a close combat, but for a long distance combat.
I feel it. I feel it. Okay, I'm so wondering about Bigetron Delta versus Team Falcons. It's a hot news, right? So, any response to Team Falcons statement about BTR copying Team Falcons?
Kamu mau ada respon nggak sih soal Tim Falcon tuh kan ngasih statement bahwa kalian itu mengcopy Tim Falcon?
Kita sih nggak pernah nge-copy dia, kita lebih belajar cara kita sendiri aja sih untuk mengalahkan tim mereka. Kalau
Kekurangan juga?
kekurangan,
Mengulik kekurangan juga?
iya kekurangan kita juga, apa yang kurang kita dan apa juga kekurangan mereka, jadi kita pelajari, bukan nge-copy permainan mereka.
He said that we never copied Team Falcon.
Alright.
We were just learning, evaluating ourselves, evaluating our strengths and weaknesses, so we never copied Team Falcon.
Alright. You heard that? Alright. Interesting answer. I like it, and thank you so much for Ikal. Good luck for Bigetron Delta, because we still have 4 games after this. So survivors and everyone, stay tuned. I hope Indonesian team will get booyah in the next game. So, are you ready for the next game? Once again, are you ready?
Ready?
Alright,
Ready.
Shoutcaster, take it away.
The man, Ikao, he's got it. Hopefully, another Indonesian team, or maybe it's the same one, is gonna get another booyah. Of course, apologies on the camera. The camera's been acting up today. I don't know why. Maybe it's the bad hair, but still here for the action nonetheless.
Yeah, well, glad to still have you on board. But yeah, no, I mean, the fact that he's mentioning that, hey, we're not copying them, we're evaluating them and really making some really good, realistic comparisons with themselves, what they can do better, and how to take advantage of their weaknesses. I'm pretty sure that Falcons isn't the only team that they have on board for that plan. Considering how that they've been playing so far against, even Twisted Minds and BRU, I wouldn't be too surprised if they've taken a good analysis of the top 6 in the lobby.
Of course, we gotta first give props to Koja on that Tatsuya 7 eliminations this game, and the fact that he is kind of taking on the role of the bomber on his team to rack up these many eliminations in an aggressive manner is very, very impressive, right? Most of it, of course, were pickups, were them cleaning up other people's fights, but that's how you kind of get these extra points. And when you look at the entire lineup, one of the few aggressive teams out there from Indonesia, triple Tatsuya and a Skyland.
Yep. They want to break down your walls. They want to fight full force, right? That's why they really are prioritizing picking and choosing the teams that they decide to fight and use these resources for. I will say that Koja has been doing very well for these past couple of days. These past 2 days, today and the day before. He's been nailing it with the launchers. Still a great bomber overall. Very devastating once he has access to clusters. In the meantime, right, even for Kyung as well as Aikal have been putting up some good numbers for the team.
Yeah, he definitely has. One of the more experienced player as well. And I think, you look at Ikal's kind of background, his backstory before he was a part of BTR. It's a pretty heartbreaking one. When he was with Thorat, they always came close to the big stage, always came close to either a title or qualification to the next championship, but they always fall short of that, thanks to Arakukazu or sometimes their own lackluster performance. But in this case, they got Koja. He has Koja backing him in eliminations, followed by Wasana and Moshi with 5, Kyung Jun with 4.
Catching up quick, and it really feels like he's finding his place with this team, right? They can play that aggressive style. They can really pick and choose. Following his leadership is going to be important, especially when you have members who are just eager to get into the action, right? Nameless as a support with 11 headshots this game and the highest damage numbers lasting to the very, very end.
Followed by BRU once more. No booyah for them, but no problem. 22, and Twisted Minds getting 17. But Vamos, 16 points this round. That's going to put them in a slightly better standing to catch up to Todak after this.
Yep, I mean, they did a pretty good job in the early game finding the eliminations, but unfortunately never really recovered after that towards the mid game. So they focused on placements and they really maximized their points despite the horrible the horrible mid game that they have. It's a good way to actually recover. If you look at the points, it means that they're catching up, right? It means that they're currently roughly 50-ish, let's round it out, points away from Todak, but still a long way ahead of them to make it into top 12.
In BRU, they are really putting ahead right now. 51 points. RQ Kazu remains a constant. So AG Global, Twisted Minds got a chance to overtake RQ Kazu, especially AG Global, who haven't been having the best first 2 rounds, but they are getting those incremental points. They got 4 more rounds to do so.
Yep. I mean, 150 points is going to be the quota for a majority of these teams if they want to start taking places off of their opponents and, more importantly, setting themselves up for that top 12, if not top 2. I think it's going to be a tough bout to go, but considering how active these lobbies are getting now, with the majority of them either being forcefully sent back to the lobby or forcefully pushed into another team, it's either you double down on your fight or you hold your ground.
Absolutely, and we are seeing some of the adaptations, not just BTR, but even Vamos. They have been really trying to find these third-party opportunities to get points, right? We see them infiltrate the Heavy and Star Knight clash early on to get those points, and somehow even making it to the very end to finish top 2. So we'll see if that continues. For now, we're going to go for a short break, and when we come back, it will be more V5 action.
circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
They find it, and now Todak in position for this booyah. Unless Ray has something to say, he takes both of them.
Mau tantang tim Vietnam aja. Tim Hawa.
Eliminate the knockdown. Now it's going to be the full 2v1 RRQ. The push and pull is just too good for Todak.
Ya, buat Kingdom dukung kita terus lah, jangan dihujat terus lah.
The Trogots upon Trogots upon Trogots for WAG. He's got smooth moves, but he's out of cooldowns. Razor finally.
circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. Let me circle it. I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
They find it, and now Todak in position for this booyah. Unless Ray has something to say, he takes both of them.
Mau tantang tim Vietnam aja. Tim Hawa.
Eliminate the knockdown. Now it's going to be the full 2v1 RRQ. The push and pull is just too good for Todak.
Ya, buat Kingdom dukung kita terus lah, jangan dihujat terus lah.
The Trogots upon Trogots upon Trogots for WAG. He's got smooth moves, but he's out of cooldowns. Razor finally out of it.
Mục tiêu của team bọn em là vào chung kết là sẽ top 3, ít nhất là top 3.
It is Bigatron, Delta, Ikal, healing gameplay.
Kesulitannya egoisnya dari sendiri dan teman-teman.
That and one more on the turnaround, taking the
ไอ้
booyah
ที่
for
บอกว่าศึกษานี่เรียกว่าฟลอปหรือเปล่า
Circle it. Circle. You let me circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. Let me circle it. I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching the Free Fire World Series Southeast edition for the fall season of 2024. We still have 4 more maps to go, and to give you more Free Fire action, my name is Gideon Q. This is also Husky to cast the rest of today. What do you think is going to happen, right? Because we've already seen the first 2 maps. We've got a little bit of a taste. Maybe we've got some predictions for the upcoming.
Predictions? I mean, I want to see BRU score a booyah, right? As much as they are going to inevitably do so. BRU, Twisted Minds, they're in a good spot. I think they're in a good headspace as well. Teams I want to see step up. I want to see Evos Divine. I want to see Onyx Olympus, PE Sports. These 3 have still been struggling, considering that we ended week 3 on a high note for some of them. They kind of dump after the 1 week break, so I want to see them step up their game. Whereas for Heavy, Star Knights and Vamos, they gotta buckle up because it's not looking good.
Yeah, it has not been looking too good, but let's look at the current Day 12 summary here in terms of total points. BRU still stands on top at 41, 26 coming from eliminations and 15 from placement points. AG just under them at 36, and BTR honestly catching up pretty quick after that last map with 17 eliminations and 13 placement points. If they have a good game over AG, it might just be an overtake.
But one of the biggest surprise to me, for sure, is WAG, who have not been really getting much done today in the first 2 rounds. 4 total points off of 2 rounds. That's an average of 2 per round. They started the day in top 5, but they've been overtaken by Attack All Around and Twisted Minds, now falling into 7th spot. And if this trajectory continues, it's going to be quite a pain for WAG.
Not enough squads are dying by the 4th ring, right? There's still a very healthy squad, still at full fighting force, running around the map a majority of the time, and I think that's why WAG has been really struggling on their engagements overall. They really prefer a slower lobby. But for Alpine, let's look at the top 3 teams of the map. BRU, RRQ Kazu, who's not playing today, but also Attack All Around.
Attack All Around has been really brewing up a storm, but when we talk about Alpine, BRU is always the undisputed kings of Alpines. No team has even come close to remotely, outclassing them on this map. And there's something about Alpine that BRU is uncomfortably good at. See if this one is going to be the same, because they have been doing a phenomenal job in the first 2 rounds despite not winning it.
Yep, and I think that somebody's got to challenge them for that throne of Alpine, right? Maybe it could be Attack All Around. It feels like they have some newfound energy. Yes, they did perform not that great on map number 2, but they did booyah at the beginning of the day. It's time to head to the next highest of heights. If you're looking for Evers, you're not going to find any here, but you'll find just as many bodies here at Alpine as we take a look at the flight path.
Quite interesting one. So far, we haven't seen much adjustments in terms of drop spots for any of these teams. I think most of them have been accustomed to where they are with many minimal changes, and that only happens when teams get desperate. All of the action brought to you by the Galaxy S24 Ultra as well to keep your win streak alive. It's definitely keeping some of the teams in tip-top shape. Very generous flight path down the middle, with Star Knight taking Garrison right off the bat. Railroad goes to Twisted Minds. Nothing out of the ordinary there. Snowfall should go over to BRU.
Okay. Looks like no contestants from BRU's side towards the northwestern side of the map. And Onyx once again going for that very large spread of Sunside and as well as base camp. But even touching Rye. It looks like they want to have a good idea of where to maybe rotate early on for some quick points. Let's see how that plays out, right? The first ring has been determined to be on the complete opposite side of where BRU is right now. Can't see exactly where it ended up landing, but it just means that BRU has a bit of travel time.
Yeah, and speaking of BRU, shout out to Moshi, #1 damage king, the first one to reach 100,000 total damage dealt in the fall season. So out of just 50 rounds, or actually no, 44 rounds, he's dealt 100,000 damage. And people wonder why Moshi is such a force to be reckoned with if he's a one-man armada.
Yeah, man, the entirety of BRU. The entirety of BRU is always a scary sight. Look old. These lines are gathering together on the outskirts, and Star of foreign entities entering their space. They're calling in the reinforcements to double up on the front lines.
He will be the first one to receive any sort of a hit, but the rest of Star Knights actually are not deciding to kind of group up for potential fight. In fact, they are spreading out and making sure that they get as far away as possible. At least the convoy would do so. 18 Deer and Lee will kind of just stay around this area to try and see if they can get more info, perhaps pick off.
Well, we'll see whether or not they're going to get that pick off, right? But two members definitely find Diamond and Xboxy, they do find a vehicle. Same goes for Roz. They should be able to hear each other as Ffws is going to get jumped on by the duo of Xboxy and as well as Diamond. They find him straight away, creating a man advantage. If they take out Roz, this should be a pretty easy cleanup for them. Trying to break the vehicle, doesn't explode just yet. Twisted Minds, full elimination later, and they're on the hunt.
Uh-oh. Razis drew unwanted attention. I believe he wanted to at least try and run down one of the Twisted Mind players, but there was a book to jump on. And Razis' vehicle is poking. Only a matter of time before Twisted Minds scores the second point, courtesy of Star Knights. How far can Razis? Exposure to shoot the vehicle with the gas tank blows up. Raz still continues his escape. Diamond now takes over, and finally Raz is now stranded in no man's land.
Yep, without any vehicles, he's got a lot less mobility to play with, and the worst part is that the nearest compound is already under the control of Twisted Minds. However, the rest of the members where that front line is supposed to be. It's a very dangerous angle if you just decide to jump out, and it looks like Diamond is aware of his current position. Blocks the first couple of shots and takes out Raz almost instantaneously. Good wall. Make sure that he wins out in that engagement. Riptide Rhythms to destroy his temporary cover.
And for Star Knights, that's pretty much the end of the skirmish. I don't think you want more than this. But that's on the occasion that Twisted Minds let it happen, because Nameless and Diamond, they hop in the vehicle, they want more. It's a potential rush from the right side. They want to get close to Liam at least as much as they can, parking themselves right under the bridge. Diamond and Nameless, the advice MKS, he's got more business to deal with. Shot from an unknown angle and ended up being finished off by Diamond.
Unlucky. And now it's going to be the Star Knights on the run. They saw Liam underneath the bridge earlier. They let him pass through. They went for the free pickings, and now they're on the chase. And now that they've seen line of sight, Liam is in an open field, and it's a full killing floor for both Nameless as well as Diamond.
Everything falling apart for Star Knights right now. Nowhere is safe. Liam, he's going to do a Hail Mary attempt, but barely a scratch on the members of Twisted Minds. 4 points right off the bat for the Thai team.
The hunts have been very successful. It doesn't mean that the Knights are just yet. Oh, yep, never mind. Talk about unfortunate timing. Walks right into it. Gets taken out. There, you see the Star Knights ending this place. We do see the Twisted Minds are not too far away from Onyx. We saw Onyx nearby in the previous engagement, but they backed out of it pretty quick as well. Let's quickly cut on over to BTR, because it looks like they have their sights on attack all around.
Let's see if attack all around can kind of get close to BTR. See that BTR, they have this 1-3 for a couple of shots on the Ikao Kyung. Good kind of a bait and switch. Force fire was going according to plan. Now BTR with the Riptide Rhythm. The dome from Jump God to try and protect his teammate. Foki actually finds Koja. Maybe a turnaround is possible. Foki and Jump God both putting in the legwork, as well as bringing the pain. BTR went for the rush. Despite the initial pick, they are the ones on the losing end.
They unfortunately could not keep attack all around in that mid-range, right? Attack all around more well equipped to deal with the CQC, and BTR is suffering punishment because their shotguns pretty early on in that engagement. Now the chase. Jump God living up to his name once more. Going to get ahead that the hunt is going to end as soon as possible. Ikal going to try and buy as much time as the rest of attack all around and circle him, taking him down. That's another elimination point. 5 elimination points for attack all around.
And from getting a booyah to getting eliminated first, what a polar opposite in terms of results for BTR. Almost loses Legolas again. Sci-Fi even for the fadeaway at the very end. The Bison getting the job done. And unfortunately for Vamos, they're also not doing well. But for AG Global, could be one of the rounds where they really rack in the big points, as Twisted Minds just hit 5 eliminations this game.
Yep, and Looks like they are looking down towards Evos. Heavy, they see what's going on, but they can't really intervene with the situation, especially when Evos is already launched out of there. Not as volatile as they thought it was initially. Jonah getting 2 pocket markets at the start of each match, making sure that he's keeping on top of things. Any bad engagements, they have flexibility. It feels like BRU, they've got a protocol for basically everything. Oh wait, Gary getting taken down straight away as we see Lions taking a full engagement onto Onyx.
About to get one more. Nameless does lose the initial contact. Diamond now surrounded and pinched by 2 members of Onyx, and somehow doesn't even go down. Not even crippled. Low in health, sure. It finally knocked down, but the work put in by the rest of his teammates, and Onyx Olympus gets eliminated.
Man, Onyx has been having a really, really rough time these past couple of days. Getting eliminated so early on, not achieving too many points this round. It's going to be a tough week for them if they don't start picking it up. But now even Heavy getting gunned down by Jonah so far by Forest side on the southwest side of the map. They're going to be rotating in. It's going to be a while before they get when the ring is pulled towards like the northern side. Very least, we'll see BRU still make it in, and we'll see how many points they'll have by the end of this map.
See if they can even break the record. I think the record right now is, what, 28 eliminations. 40 points is kind of the golden standard if you want to win a trophy, then courtesy of Team Falcons back in EWC. BRU also has quite a track record when it comes to the barriers, possibilities of eliminations per game. You got 3 teams tanking the blue: WAG, AG Global, and Vamos. Vamos in the worst possible state with only 1 survivor.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to recover. Usually they can recover from these positions, especially if it's pretty early on into the game or only at the second closure of the ring. But right now, we gotta look at Twisted Minds because they already have 8 eliminations. Let's see whether they're going to start hunting people early on, or from this point on, enough elimination points, we can actually just play for position to start maximizing our odds.
Yeah, that could be one of the approaches. I think a lot of teams are incentivized to keep on going, right? Keep your foot on the gas. Keep your foot on the gas when you have that much resources. But it's good to see that Twisted Minds are taking that time with no teams around them. Cannot say the same for the Vitan Heavy side. Spotted out by BRU, and that's literally a death sentence. Go up in the line of sight, you are marked for death. That's exactly what Jonah delivers.
Yep, gets gunned down straight away by Jonah. Doesn't miss his shots. And now BRU know that they're here. They can rotate. They can start thinking about rotating in towards the circle. As we do see the third is about to get revealed. Third closure has begun. We'll see whether a more aggressive stance, because I feel like so early on into this game, we're seeing that teams really start to calm down after 3rd and 4th ring and only start picking things back up.
That has been the case, actually. That's why we see so many teams make it to the 4th or the 5th circle. I think 5th was the furthest we went with all 12 squads alive. At least the numbers have been thinned out for Alpine. Only 10 squads remain. BTR and PE Sports in this vicinity. Of course, BTR in the building and PE Sports taking the roof. BTR will be in the circle.
It feels like it's a good position for PE, but I think eventually they have to make a call. Either head further north, or whether this roof actually extends to the upper, to the next building on their left. Hopefully that gives them some options about rotations, because we've seen teams sit on top of roofs and get pelted by everybody in the server.
It's going to begin right now. Attack all around, even on the other, finding the 9th elimination. Triple for Limit, 4 for Folky. Jump God even cashing in 2. So the standoff between PE Sports and BTR is going to continue, but attack all are messy. They just spot that Evo's Divine, but Twisted Minds should see this happening.
Yeah, unless they've got a hard read on the ring, on where the next ring is going to pull, all around, they got to start threatening positions here. As much as Heavy and WAG, as well as AG Global, are in the middle of conflict on that southeastern side, and Attack All Around having a clear line of sight towards anything on that road, it's going to be a little tough if Evos Divine start pushing them from behind. Oh, at 10th spot, it's going to be Heavy who gets eliminated.
Yeah, very, very unfortunate. AG Global also not looking too good. Constantly having to take that damage from the blue zone. At one point, it's gonna start reducing your healing as well. Caramel getting punished for just being too low. PE Sports starting some of their snipes from afar. They are the gatekeeper. If you want to get through, PE Sports is the team to beat. WAG running away from attack all around. Jump God needs help. Cougar provides it. Foki intercepts the bullet, but to his own demise. And attack all around, biting on more than they could chew, losing 2 members.
Yep, now even WAG pushed out of their position to take the underside of that bridge, attack all around from front as well as back, and absolutely blasted. And finally, the final VRU coming in towards Evos Divine, they back away to prioritize making a spot in the ring. This is a good choice for BRU. They're not invested in this conflict at all. And the other side of the map, and BRU rotating north. Attack all around. They get eliminated here, but Twisted Minds have not moved a single inch since the 3rd ring foreclosure.
Just waiting for the perfect opportunity to pounce. They are in a very, very comfortable spot. But Rory can't say the same for him. He knows that the rest of BRU are going to come for him. It's only a matter of time before they get there. And Rory at least do some damage. Not even going to try. He just gets blasted from behind. Almost is out. AG Global also now next on the chopping block, getting absolutely bulldozed through by Twisted Minds. Left with the blue.
Oh, I don't think Dulu has enough time, does he? He's trying to rotate in, but that road, it doesn't go off-road until a little bit later. We see that Evos Divine still making their way in towards that ring, however, have to deal with the resistance of the Twisted Minds, who've been stuck in that same compound since ring number 3. It's lucky for Evos, but unlucky for Du. Goes behind natural cover and gets on the floor prone to protect himself. He has no safe angles.
None at all, in fact. Yeah, so Evos Divine, Twisted Minds, both occupying one building, and then you have Du that is just fighting for his dear life. So much ice grenade, so much Riptide Rhythm. Du just absolutely overwhelmed by the utility from Twisted Minds, and now they can sign next door.
Yeah, they don't have to waste too much time on Du, but they have to worry about 2 fronts. The Evos front and as well as the PE Sports front. Yes, they want to take advantage of BRU running across that field, but unfortunately, when we're looking at the geographical landscape, it's on the lower half of the ground. So BRU are not invested in the fight happening on the opposite side unless Twisted Minds push up, which they can't.
And that's going to be the silver lining for now. Exposy, Diamond both putting in some work. Twisted Minds fighting 2 fights at the same time, but winning on both fronts. And Evos Divine left wondering how are they going to make it through this. Ray will heal back up, some time to top up, which puts BRU in the best possible position to potentially win a Booyah on the strongest map.
Yep, and now they're going straight for PE. They don't want to be caught out in the open, especially with the ring already closing. With no natural cover to work by, they're making a smart choice. Not wasting too many resources, but getting so many knots, and they eliminate them entirely. PE Sports end their run at 4th on this map, and BRU pull back to the rock straight away to play around their natural cover. Great decisions being made by BRU, but Twisted Minds have held on to this spot for so long. Evos knocking on their doors, and Joanna looking for an opportunity to actually hit the back line here. Riptide Rhythms being thrown by Evos. They want this spot bad.
Oh yeah, and Riptide Rhythm from Twisted Minds side as well. Get high, forced to pull away a little bit. A secondary one to expose Moshi. They're gonna use Evos Divine as a means to an end. And Evos Divine, they're not gonna be Twisted Minds tools. They will make the decision to take the fight to Twisted Minds. And with BRU closing in, Twisted Minds is getting suffocating.
Yeah, I think that Twisted Minds needed to start peppering BRU back and maybe even work together with Evos Divine when they were on top of the roof, but they're so patient when you're stuck inside, and especially when you have the windows covered with blue walls as well, right? You're going based on pure audio. Now, Evos Divine are trying to rotate around the right side, but BRU keeps them stuck in to force them into Twisted Minds, and BRU, they don't have to do anything else. They just have to wait on the outside and start farming the kills once the blue overlaps the structure.
It could be one of the easiest wins, right? Just let the rest of the teams gas out. Evos Divine, Twisted Minds both make a mad dash into the circle, and all hell breaks loose. This feels like the rumbling, or it's like the dead rising. Nameless and Jordan join the fight, goes down to the blue. Saming right in the middle to support his teammates. Diamond really attempting to just buy time and now finding dashes out of the building. Sa Ming playing ring around the Rosie, somehow surviving with a sliver of health. And Twisted Minds trying to outmaneuver BRU. Monster Truck exposing gets knocked out into the blue. And BRU with everything at their disposal gets the booyah.
Oh man, you got what you asked for. A booyah from BRU, that monster truck saved them. Oh my goodness, had Diamond gotten that first initial knock, that could have spelled a lot of problems for BRU because that was such a vital position in the very end of that ring. Woo! Really turning it around and making sure that they maintain battle lines from beginning to the end. BRU's cohesion is unparalleled.
This BRU in prime form. Decision making, 10 out of 10. End of that final sequence, they just used the teams, they understood position. There's really no need to rush into the gunfight. Get closer and closer, start threatening both Evil's Divine and Twisted Minds and let fear take over. And I gotta give props to Twisted Minds. They did a fairly good job of trying to outlast BRU, trying to fight them on all fronts. Sa Ming playing basically field medic, but BRU just had everything set up for the win, and Twisted Minds, they just could not find the re-engage.
Yeah, they just ran out of resources. Both Twisted Minds as well as Evil's Divine did not have enough nades and utility to actually push through all the blue walls that were deployed, the fortified position of Twisted Minds. I think that if they had a little bit more resources, they could have forced Twisted Minds out of that position, if not waste the majority of their blue walls on their side to forcefully have to take the fight against you. It really was who could make who could make Twisted Minds react in that final zone.
Unfortunately, it was kind of BRU. Twisted Minds, they were trying to fight P-Sports and Evil's Divine at the same time as see in this final sequence, and BRU, just coming in is kind of a boss rush, right? Go through stage by stage. Jonah basically locking out one of the exits, and Twisted Minds tried their very best, but this monster truck just a big menace. Moshi taking advantage of not just the cover that it provides, but also the mobility, running down every single blue wall, and Twisted Minds, everyone getting moved out into the blue zone. Exposy getting the shorter end of the stick. BRU, with this booyah, is going to solidify their chances of making it to 800.
Yep, they continue to rise in the scoring, and BRU is going to be the stock that you want to invest in right now because they are looking so very good overall. And worse yet, we haven't even seen them at their absolute. We have a word with our Booyah winners, BRU.
It's quite weird for
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. It is interesting to see BRU in those types of positions. Great interview so far. We might come back into it to give you the rest of the information later. But yeah, BRU in a very nice position. And based on what I've heard from interviews in the previous day, some team back on purpose, right? Saving their full potential for point rush, or maybe even a couple of strats for point rush, and then for the very final day.
Hey, you know, the one thing I miss from BRU is Jonah just talking smack about everyone. Probably one of the best part. I think that personality during FFSI a year ago, but ever since then he has been kind of a bit tame, and I'm feeling comfortable. Let's jump right back in.
All right, let's throw it back into the interview. Let's finish off what we started here. Let's have a word with BRU. Interesting. It looks like
good talk.
Good talk, in a matter of fact. Yeah, a lot of interesting words being thrown out there, huh?
A man of little words.
A man of little words. I feel like BRU, whenever they send out Wasana, it's like, we need a PR answer. We can't have.
Wasana is the guy that gives the politically correct answers. Yes. Moshi is there. He's the Rizzler. Jonah is if you want to route out your opponents, and Get High. Actually, now that I think about it, I don't remember much about Get High being interviewed. Maybe they should get him on stage more because they have been sending Wasana out to dry.
Or maybe it's Get High who's like, Wasana, he takes the initiative. He's like, Wasana, you gotta go up. I don't care what anybody says. If they call me, you're walking up there.
Hey, that could be a possibility, honestly. He looks pretty, he is the, if Wasana rejects, they'll just say, you know what, all three of us have a world trophy. You don't, so you take the interview.
He's getting L ratioed on it, even on his own team, which is kind of funny. Considering that he's been nominated as majority of the MVPs throughout the tournaments that he's played in so far in his professional career.
Oh yeah, he definitely has been. Still the uncrowned king on the side of BRU. Always so close, but never close enough to kind of touch the golden crown. Hopefully this is it, right? It's the first step towards the global stage. I mean, you're going to see BRU there, but how far they can go really rests in their hands, because they did win EWC, right? And that, I feel, is the biggest statement to a certain extent, that winning kind of the official with a good
times, and with their particular play style on certain maps, making it even more I don't want to say dangerous, but I will say homework. It forces a lot. Hopefully we're going to be able to settle that and get a word with Shake without a fight.
And SEA still remains in the hands of BRU, and this time it's going to be Jonah as the MVP of this match. 9 eliminations, almost clocking in 4k damage, and was rocking the Tatsuya, because why not? It's BRU.
Yep, and so far, Jonah, huge openings created, right? Already finding a lot of stragglers, despite being the guy that is going to be lobbing those nades. Yeah, he's been on the front lines for quite a bit for The
man, they have been
hyper aware about their situation, the combat strength, the current combat state, and more so what's going on, especially when it gets more accurate as the ring closes in. From 5th, 6th, 7th, we're already seeing Jonah make some really good end game decisions.
He's not only the best captain, but also the elim leader, followed by Moshi with 5, and Limit also tying that up. And Wasana makes it up to the list as well. 4 eliminations for him. Explosive from Twisted Minds also shares that spot. Overall, is dictated primarily by BRU, with Twisted Minds somehow trying to really play a part in this puppeteer game, but at the end of the day, it's BRU that comes out on top.
Yep. I mean, P Esports, unfortunately, yes, one of our key players here today, finding 5 headshots in that match, but unfortunately could not force any movement from Twisted Minds, right? 21 glue walls used, understandable when they are that's gonna make or break their run.
And I mean, we also saw Twisted Minds not only having to use so much glue walls to defend their spot, but also when they go for these engages, collecting the glue walls, keep topping a resource up to get them into a spot. But for BRU, Booyah 19 eliminations, that's 31 points. The first of the day in terms of point, with Twisted Minds second, Attack All Around third, AG Global fourth. So all 4 Thai teams playing today basically just dominated the lobby.
Big dominations, but a lot of elimination points being collected by some of the other teams, like Attack All Around, for an example. Yes, they didn't get the best when it comes down to placement points, but overall, I think with this search for KD, it's very worthwhile. They do drop down a little bit, unfortunately, but at the very least, they're getting closer and closer, just 2 points away from breaking into top 5.
And close, and also perhaps a sigh of relief for Attack All Around. They just need 2 more points to tie up with Team Falcons, and 11 points to tie up with Twisted Minds. Honestly, not too far away, right? Attack All Around, despite not getting a Booyah, they still have been able to keep up with the rest of the pack. Gotta take a look at the game schedule just to get everyone else up to speed on the state of we're done with 3 maps. We've got 3 more to come.
Yep. I mean, we're already done with the Bermudas. We're already done with the Purgatories. Now that we've already finished Alpine, next on the chopping block is going to be a few of the maps that most people really don't like. Some love it, some hate it. I'm on board with pro players who don't like this map. It's Kalahari.
And I'm bored with none of you guys, because it's my favorite map. So, only me and Danny love this map, but it's fine, because Kalahari really puts everyone to the rotation. Plenty of open ground, very minimal vehicles to work with. It really forces you to change your outlook on how to play a map. I think Kalahari really has been of a lot of these professional teams. It's kind of what Indonesian teams used to get a leverage in the past few years. Of course, now everyone else has caught up. Kalahari was removed from the competitive pool, but to see it becoming a constant, again, a staple once more, it warms me. You know, I'm just happy to see Kalahari.
Yeah, I miss the days when Kalahari was banned. Hopefully, we go back to it one of these days. But Kalahari, in terms of the top 3 teams on the map that have been performing, Buriram United, Twisted Minds, and WAG are amongst them, right? No doubts whatsoever. These are the teams that make some really intelligent decisions when it comes down. Not so in probing their opponents, but more so having reads on the ring and how they approach the enclosing blue. Most of the time, playing on the outer side, the outer rim of it, and then eventually finding their way in. We did see that Twisted Minds on Alpine opted to early, and then afterwards look for an end game spot early on. We'll see whether or not that's going to be the same strategy here for Kalahari. If not, it's just going to be early game rolling teams that happen to come by them.
Absolutely. Let's get ready to jump to Kalahari. You better bring a face mask if you have some allergies. It was pretty hot, so get that duster on, because it's about to get even more heated with all of these powerhouses, with Argue Kazu not around and BRU being the best performing team on the map that they used to struggle on. Times have changed. Let's see if the tides will.
Let's head back to dunes, the sands. Hopefully, we might see our leaders here. Maybe the prophecy comes true. We head on over to Kalahari once again. Let's see that flight path. See whether or not it's going to be stable or skewed. The whole day has been pretty good so far. None have been cruel to the maps or to the players.
Everything brought to you by the Galaxy S24 Ultra as usual. See flight path cutting right through the middle, a bit skewed towards the northern side. Already dropped BTR, taking Council Hall, heavy at confinement. Seems like there is some scuffle at Refinery, and Vamos actually decides to fight BRU. Well, actually, no, it's actually Star Knights. BRU on the other end, but Star Knights, they are sort of losing out. 2 members down, one of them removed from the lobby, while Raz to follow Vamos with the hot drop, and they are making it work.
18 Deer, the only one. Raz, they were able to get a couple of pickups, but fortunately for Ffws, that's just not the case. Jun finally getting full eliminated here. They have to control the POIs, so they don't have to consistently deal with the revives that come down. But it's a little... In the meantime, at least they have a Mart on their side. Vamos, on the other hand, has to play from the outside. Liam is going to come back to life. He will be able to soar away, leaving the rest of his members to fend off and deal as much damage as possible. Wait, did that revive spot out the Onyx members? I mean, Gardu looks like he's walking up to probe to see what's going on.
There's a possibility. Yeah, he's legging Refinery. The fight still continues. 18 Deer wins his against Legolas. To bring attention, Midori and Mikacha from behind to try and look for Raz. Couldn't find it. The glue up blocks off Raz's escape. In fact, even a window has been sealed off. Raz seems to be left to his own devices, and this is not looking good. Glue wall melter. Raz desperately wants to make an escape route for himself, but the Mac 10 is not Vamos members. It's bait and switch. Raz got no chance. As 18 Deer gets McGrory, puts up a glue wall, tries to make for his retreat, but Onyx Olympus Gardu though.
Oh boy. I mean, yeah, I mean, sort of. They've got 2 members here looking to probe and, pick up as many elimination points as possible. But AG, they're way more committed to actually completely Refinery. They're walking up real quick and real fast, fully equipped as well. Inside of this compound looking extremely dangerous is AG. Giving up that high ground almost straight away to chase away down to it. Wait a minute. They're not the only ones. Evos Divine.
Unfortunately, this could end horribly. McGrory is trying to keep it together. That's the vending machine. That is the hot spot. AG sneaking down. And they want more. McGrory gets brought back. Mikacha gets the job done. Duke gets knocked down. Mikacha finds Cypher. It's a mess with 3 teams back to back. At T-Sports, they're also waiting for this to die down. Perhaps they will join in as soon as they can. Evos Divine finding 4.
Oh, AG gets eliminated at 12th. Looks like committing and full force really costed them their lives here. It's so sad. So many teams that were originally sitting on here in Refinery pushed out or eliminated with only PE Sports. Wait a minute. LBT is really out of position. He lingered for very long, and now BTR looking to get in the mix.
Seems like everyone wants a piece of the Refinery. Seems like the stocks are looking good. Ekal does win that fight. Esports will not be able to stick the foot in. Throughout all of that, now this territory has turned into a full-on Indonesian army base as ABAX loses his life. So it's BTR to take ownership, or at least partial ownership of this area.
Yeah, they see the direction of where Nero is flying down to, and it looks like they might have spotted LBT. Yeah, they did. They do see both of them, and now they have to be a little careful. Ray, they don't know if he's part of the exact same team. They don't see the banners just yet, and they're really far to see them. Oh, but Icos, who is getting shot? Riptide Rhythm comes out straight away in a fast jump, instantly getting shot out of the sky. The EVO's members, Force, especially the ones that were probing, already down. The revives called in straight away.
Cool karma collected from Ikao. What a shot to find that extra elimination. So BTR, they leave Refinery, find a couple more eliminations as WAG gets wiped off the map again. Really not a day for a team that has had a pretty good start to week 4.
Yeah, they had a great start, but at the same time, it could be better. Star Knights finding a couple of eliminations onto Onyx. At least majority of the teams have recovered. Only 2 getting eliminated so far. Hopefully, oh wow, that's a high elimination. Already at 5 so early on. With the arsenals open, let's cut over to Heavy, forcing them back into their structures and honestly attacking them from every angle.
Kalahari doesn't make it easy. What a shot from Get High to take out Get. It's going to come in from Heavy, but it's going to be a 2-pronged attack. Where do you go if you're Heavy? Jonah finds Hans from behind. Heavy just no idea what hit him. Let's just stand back up. Get High again with the takedown. Wasana also wants a piece of Heavy, and there's just no chance for Heavy to even put up any fight.
God, what a shot from Get High alone. He's just landing them every single time. Aim God is going to be listed somebody who's going to get marked on the map pretty early on by BRU. See whether or not they're going to take full advantage of this, but in the meantime, at least they've got some information about their current positioning, right? As PE is taking heavy casualties, they have not been able to recover. The Refinery has not been able to get back to full fighting force.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Refinery, I used to be a hotspot, then died down for a while, but to see so many teams vying for that game, quite a breath of fresh air. Onyx Olympus gets the full team back. We did see a bit of a substitution, Jack out with Keybase in. At least they find this vending machine at the fountain, so they get to stock up a little bit on that ammunition, get the equipment back up. 7 minutes into the game, and then finally, the commotion dies down.
Yeah, the fact that they're taking out Jack here, I would imagine that Onyx is going to take a more aggressive playstyle. That's why we saw them roll into that fight. I guess they are pretty desperate for points, considering that today has not been their day, either bowing out early or just walking away with like 3 points at the end of the map, which is pretty abysmal considering that they've had a much better showing early on in FFWS.
Yeah, 100%. Even BRU. I mean, the opposite end is going to be BRU, who has been phenomenal, as always. Perhaps this is going to be one of the maps for Star Knights. If I did find one of the EVO's Divine members, BTR, on the other hand, making their rotation. Speaking of Devil, EVO's Divine on that high ground at the sub. See how BTR is going to attack this. Not the easiest compound to infiltrate.
It isn't, but instead of playing under, they're looking to contest them from the same height, right? Dix immediately, not as well as G'day. They've noticed that this was the EVOS members. They can take full advantage. I don't know if they have any clue about their fighting force, but they don't care. They just want to be able to get as many elimination points as possible. Hoja ends up going down as Dix gets the trade instantaneously, and Aikal does immediately after. That's going to be BTR with 7 eliminations, aggressively taking the space.
Hoping that maybe we'll see some sort of a clutch from Aim God, but that means BTR completely takes control of the sub. 8 eliminations, and sending EVO's Divine back to factory reset mode. They only got 7 eliminations, but 2 members left alive. BRU on the rotation.
Oh no.
Make into the circle very quickly. Twisted Minds also just found one of the members of Evil's Divine.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. Evil's really, they just want to get these revives off and then actually start playing the game. They've been recovering for such a long time. Second ring is also about to close in as well. So it's running out of time and running out of POIs to actually get the revives down. Let's cut back to PE, right? Because so far we haven't seen PE make it super far and closing out with the Booyah. They got very close in the last map, but then still got shoved in. It feels like they're just one step behind making a Booyah happen.
Oh yeah, I mean PE has kind of felt like the sleeper agent, right? We just haven't found the right code word to wake them up yet. It's not activated this entire day. Now, when you compare them to names like Twisted Minds, who has a chance of fighting off Onyx Olympus on the other side. This is the refinery vicinity for sure. Zip lines connecting every single one of these structures, but Twisted Minds are in a pretty good spot to kind of survey the vicinity.
Yeah, and they already know that Onyx is turning the corner. They don't know whether they're coming towards them or whether they're going to come after, but they do see the launch coming up from Vamos' side. Both Onyx as well as Twisted Minds will see this, and not too far behind, we do see PE. Now Gary is going to be the first one who gets knocked down here, as Onyx have no clue that Twisted Minds were sitting on time, forced to push in, and here comes Twisted Minds taking advantage of the situation.
This is bad news for Onyx Olympus. To be the scout, he caught in for the rendezvous, but he himself did go down. It brought him back up on his feet, sure, but Twisted Minds, very bloodthirsty. Diamond almost getting chipped away, but the health regeneration just enough. Twisted Minds not gonna give Onyx Olympus any chance. Explosive Diamond all coming in, guns blazing, blast the doors open. Nameless pick backed up. Onyx Olympus finds a horrible spot. It really isn't much left unless salvation comes in from the form of Star Knight, who just took down Nameless. But does Star Knight commit to this? I don't think they will. They just want some easy pickings. That means Onyx Olympus have to.
Getting blasted from the top as well. Star taking full advantage of this and also getting some good eliminations. Gary, final member, fall. Knights of Raz. Nicely done by the Star Knights. Great recovery. One of the few teams who actually walked away, got full recoveries, and now are walking into the third ring with 9 eliminations, contesting for Elim leader.
That, and also they want more. The drop on top of Twisted Minds. This should be very straightforward. It is 4 against 3 after all. Sami is already out of there. And I believe also brought Exposy with him. Twisted Minds keeps this run alive, but also having sufficient members. They're going to take a launching pad, but this one's going to put them very close to Vamos, Bigatron, Delta, P Esports, and Evil's Divine, but at least they're in the center, right?
Being in the center like this, that's why you see Exposy just hugging the left side of this wall, because it is exposed. If you are closer to the right, you are exposed to the high ground of the sub itself. But let's look at Gojo, who've taken the position of Twist and actually taking the elevation to a whole new level, being able to see every one of these teams, and they're forced to break line of sight just to make sure that they keep themselves alive and not take free damage and ruin their equipment before the end game.
They will don't have much time up there. You can see most of them disengaging already. Unfortunately, that crane is not covered by the circle. We just need a spray at BRU, but BRU making it out without much of a scratch. Now finding good cover. 9 teams remain, 13 minutes in. This is going to be a hell of a bloodbath. BRU, they're going to be patient.
Yep, they are gathering around the tents, and you can see a whole conglomerate of teams there, all in the same spot. Ooh, at 9th, we see that Vamos ends up getting eliminated here. Oja does find Aim God once again. Evos really struggling here. Star Knights, on the other hand, have to deal with the attack all around. This is a full engagement. If attack all around win this position, they're going to start harassing everybody else in the lobby and neuter them as much as they can. Attack all around doing very good, already eliminating the Star Knights with a little bit of help from BRU, but now their targets are on attack all around. BRU slowly creeping up into the ring. Their backs are clear, but they're also aware of BTR on the southern side.
Let's see UAV sent out. It's time to survey the area. Plenty of bodies to shoot at. BTR obviously having a better spot. Now BRU, double trouble. Moshi not even given a chance to respond next to Jump God, who took him out. Koja with the nade onto Jonah. BRU journey might just end here. Too much teams, too much lead flying at them, and only a couple of members to fend for them. CR commit. I'd be afraid of a mistake because BRU are fighting back. Kyung and Ikao on the ground. Diggs needs to wrap around the corner to find eliminated, but get high. BTR realizes that they have made a huge mistake, will disengage.
Oh, but attack all around, just trying to get through the glue walls here. They've got the ball, stay healthy, but Twisted Minds in so much trouble. They manage to push through and try and lock them up, but the gap is open. They try and Tatsuya dash out of there, and to make them collide into PE Sports. PE Sports, they see the angle, but unfortunately, they're too busy with BRU as well as Evos, as we see attack all around, only losing one member, and another getting knocked down as they are exposed to BTR. We cut back to PE, and this is such an important fight for them. If they clear this off, they have 3 angles on attack all around. As BTR understand this, that's why they're slowly walking up. They don't want to be and better yet, they see BRU walking in from the blue down to the low and make them bleed for it.
And they have 19 eliminations already, and that's going to keep on going unless Kuga has something to say about it. Gets the knock for confirmation. Look at Kyung, he is so far up the front line.
Oh!
Nade in hand, attack all around. A couple of containers and glue walls to keep them. Same narrow gets blasted. Van also taking a grenade, drops down. BRU taking cover, using the rest of the opposing teams as a buffer for them, but BTR was ready to force us. Koja with the cluster absolutely devastate the ranks of BRU, and Bigatron Delta from a great second round to a poor third round and making a recovery. Keeping our attack all around, looking for PE Sports. LBT stands no chance, don't cry. Left to defend for himself. Takes out Kyung, but they're gonna run him down for sure. Don't cry, dies to the blue. And BTR just doing massive. Who has to claim second of the day.
Oh my god, what a hot game it was for BTR Delta. We gotta know how to break the record at the end of that one. They were melting people left, right, and center, taking every opportunity to push their opponents off. A god spot, a god-sended opportunity to allow them to hurt the entire lobby.
Pose for the camera, people, because BTR is here to play. Bigatron Delta with such an aggressive lineup, really switching up from week number 1 from the stage day. We're trying to figure out what to do in that late game, but right now I think they have found their own way of progressing through every single phase of each round. And I think, Gideon, they might have just broken the record for most points, at least today.
Did they? Oh, I hope so. I really hope so. We saw our first 31 points, and now if these guys are able to crack even 40, I'd be so impressed. I mean, they played really well this time, and I think that, I don't know, something about this lobby early on, especially with what happened at Refinery, was pretty surprising. We didn't get to see what was going on with the rest of the map because there was just so many eliminations just hanging in that one spot.
I'm more surprised that the in-game control UI is that huge. Make sure that you definitely get the weapons that you need. But like you said, the early engagements at Refinery went on for a lot longer than I personally would have liked it. Every single team wants a piece of the pie. BTR coming in, and they were the ones that take over Refinery, and afterwards went on to completely wipe out Evo's Divine, whereas the rest of the teams were just fighting for scraps.
I definitely think that preparation is starting to kick in for a lot of the teams who are worried about their current spot. I mean, PE Sports, on the other hand, I think they're still playing to what they are used to. They are taking more risks involved. But I think BTR, because they were, technically they were the last to actually show up at Refinery and win that spot, they went hunting for a large majority of the game.
Yeah, and when you look at kind of the positions they put themselves in for the majority of the game, right? They came into Binary, afterwards they chased down stragglers of Evo's Divine, and afterwards they pushed themselves on top of a crane. Again, BTR made all the best possible calls this game.
Yep, they did all the best calls, and I think today has been working out really, really well, but let's have a talk with our Booyah earners, our Booyah winners here with BTR.
congratulations once again. Wow. This is the second interview with a baby Lee. And before we start the next game, I want to chit chat with someone from Bigetron Delta, of course. Hi, Dik.
Hai,
Okay, what makes you got this today?
Apa sih yang membuat kalian dapat buyah kedua hari ini?
ya kalau dari kita sih percaya teman aja sih, terus kerjasama, komunikasi, sama main lepas aja, main pede.
He said that it's education, teamwork, trusting each other, and also playing
Playing better. Okay, we will see how Bigetron performed today. And Bigetron is the champion of FFWS ID. You seem to have difficulty during knockout stage. What's wrong?
Bigetron kan juaranya FFPS ID kemarin. Tapi kalian sekarang ini di knockout stage. Apa sih yang salah?
Kalau dari kita sih masih adaptasi buat saya aja ya. Kalau buat di Indo sih udah aman. Di meta Indo udah aman.
He said that I think we're still adapting with the FFWSC fall right now, but for the Indonesian meta, we are
Local?
really safe.
Alright, first time for Bigetron Delta to play in the FFWSC. And last question, what do you want to say to audience here?
Oke, pertanyaan ke penonton yang ada di sini.
Buat penonton ya setia-setia lah buat nontonin Free Fire. Semoga makin ramai ke depannya.
So for all the viewers, you guys are not in vain watching Free Fires.
Alright, for everyone, make some noise for Bigetron Delta! Thank you and good luck for Bigetron Delta. We will see. I hope Indonesian team can give us booyah, booyah, booyah again. And everyone, we ready for the next game. So, Shoutcaster, take it away.
Very much. Love the energy. Of course, you're going to get more if this continues because BTR so far has been the only Indonesian team that's gotten a booyah today. Two, in fact, and probably one of the best rounds we've seen.
Yep, one of the best rounds, high elimination points, also gets the booyah, checking off every single box here. We got to know what that total score is at the end of it. I know the next thing that we're going to see is going to be the MVP score, and if that is already breaking double digits, I can't wait to see what that final score is going to be.
Yeah, I couldn't game scenario. They were hovering close to 20 eliminations already, so part of me feels like we're going to get there. Starting off with the MVP first, it is going to be Koja with 7 eliminations to his name. Once more, making it to the MVP slot. This guy has been on fire today.
Honestly, Koja is pissing me off with how good he is with his nades and launcher. It's ridiculous. If you are caught in an open-air siege with Koja is gonna get you. It's just a matter of time before you get bombarded out of your position.
Yeah, maybe should enlist in the Olympics someday because this guy is good at throwing nades. Of course, the Booyah team stats, we look at them again. We've kind of caught a glimpse 2 rounds ago, the triple Tatsuya single Skylar Cup. But information is king. Trip Arvon to make sure that they know where exactly where the enemies are, and then you have Koja with the Beaston just as cherry on top to absolutely devastate everyone. In fact, triple Russia on the team. How could you outrun them?
Yeah, you can't outrun them, especially when they've got your scent. That's why, especially when you have the binoculars available to you, it's great that they are utilizing their information to make very calculated decisions how they approach the fight and who they approach the fight. And that's why we're seeing it in our elimination leaders. Kyung at 8, Aikal at 8, Koja at 7, all 3 from BTR, and 5th, and Raz at 4th. And honestly, I think that the Star Knights, they got a little unlucky, but they honestly made the best out of the situation.
It is also their best round if you look at kind of past track records, but key player this time, Kyung with the most damage dealt, get high, most duels used, and Abax, unfortunately, had to go on that revival spree to get his teammates back into the game. Got a glimpse of the elim count. Three of the members of BTR already racked up 25 eliminations. We haven't even seen the last of them yet. So I think record for the day, but the question is how far can the last members with his elim count drag it to? Are we going to see that new world record of points in a single game? Let's find out right now. 38 is going to be the number. Not really breaking the 40-point record yet, but for success.
That's one hell of a game that BTR put up. 26 eliminations. Yes, they didn't break 40, but this is great to shoot them straight up into the standings almost instantaneously for the overall. Second with BRU at 16 points and EVOS with 15. Then we have PE Sports as well. Esports as well at 13, fortunately. But when we look at the overall standings, yeah, Bigatron Delta is catching up very, very fast at WAG.
Yeah, they overtook Qua Esports and Evo's Divine in just a single round. Of course, the next hurdle, WAG, will be a bit tougher as they are about to hit the 600-point mark. But if BTR keeps up this performance, that is definitely going to be possible. I would even wager the last 2 rounds would get them at least more than halfway to catching up with WAG. Eventually put them neck to neck with Falcons.
Hey, that's on the assumption they have the same trajectory here. Again, they've had some hot games, they've had some like not so hot games. It really kind of depends, and I think this particular map today has been a bit of an outlier considering how many eliminations actually went through for a majority of teams. We see this happen very often, especially since maybe in the earlier stages of FFWS, right? But now that the tournament meta has continuously progressed, a lot of teams have taken a passive approach, considering that they don't want to reveal too much before the point rush or even for the.
The PTR, they did win the FFWS, the local tournament, and then this is also their debut as an organization. So I would say not well to stand up to the top dogs, but let's see the trajectory continues for BTR. We'll go for a short break and return for the last 2 rounds of today.
Let me circle it, I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
They find it, and now Torak in position for this booyah. Unless Ray has something to say, he takes out both of them.
Mau tantang tim Vietnam aja. Tim Hawa.
Eliminate the knockdown. Now it's going to be the full 2v1 RRQ. The push and pull is just too good for Torak.
Buat Kingdom dukung kita terus lah, jangan dihujat terus lah.
The Trogons upon Trogons upon Trogons for WAG.
anything if I circle it. Let me circle it. I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
They find it, and now Torak in position for this booyah. Unless Ray has something to say, he takes out and gets both of them.
Mau tantang tim Vietnam aja. Tim Hawa.
Eliminate the knockdown. Now it's going to be the full 2v1 RRQ. The push and pull is just too good for Torak.
Ya, buat Kingdom dukung kita terus lah, jangan dihujat terus lah.
The Trogons upon Trogons upon Trogons for WAG. He's got smooth moves, but he's out of cooldowns. Razor finally out of it.
Mục tiêu của team bọn em là vào chung kết là sẽ top 3, ít nhất là top 3.
It is Bigatron. Down gameplay.
Kesulitannya egoisnya dari sendiri dan teman-teman.
Dion loses that, and one more on the turnaround, taking the booyah.
ไอ้ที่บอกว่าศึกษานี่เรียกว่าฟลอปหรือเปล่า
Circle it. Circle. You let me circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. Let me circle it. I'm like circle. When I'm hanging with my friends, I can circle it. I can find anything if I circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it. Can you circle it? Cause I can circle it. See something that you like, you can draw around it.
Wait a minute. Who are you? Quadra kill.
Welcome back for more Free Fire action at the FFWS SEA 4. This is week 4, day number 3. We've got 2 more rounds to close out the week. My name's Husky, alongside Getting Q to wrap up the action for you guys.
Yep. So far today has been pretty interesting, and we've seen a sudden turn of events. A lot of bloodlust is in the air and pumping through the veins of our survivors here. Or not, that's going to be whether that cause and momentum, and as well as that bloodlust, is going to continue on for our upcoming map. But at the very least, we've seen one of the highest kill point games today.
Yeah, 38 points courtesy of Bigatron Delta, really showing up big time. But it's all about continuing the consistency. So far, they've been the only team to get 2 booyahs today, and the only Indonesian representatives completely outclassing, teams that we expect to do better. So I think BTR, they're going to be quite the topic if they keep this up.
That's assuming they keep it up, right? And I think that's what we're all waiting to see. Whether or not some of these teams are going to adjust their playstyles to be a little bit more similar to BTR, going very aggressive early on, but maybe taking their time for these early engagements to see if it escalates even more. I'm surprised that of all the maps, it was Kalahari that we do get to see this, but overall, well played to all of the teams.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look, a quick recap at the state of the round, the 2012 summary. We got 2 booyahs by BTR, 1 for attack all around, and 1 for BRU. Of course, BRU, despite only having 1 booyah, still holds the highest point count for today. BTR did have a very underwhelming round 3. That's why they're sitting in second with 74. But everyone else is just very far behind, right? The closest one was Twisted Minds, and even that is a 16-point gap between them and BTR.
And I think that BTR, they're on a pretty good trajectory for encapsulating both yesterday and as well as today. I mentioned that, hitting 100 every single week is going to be pretty important to maintaining not only your position, but gradually taking over other people's positions. But let's look at the top 3 teams for next Terra. We have All Gamers Global, WAG, and as well as Team Falcons. AG has been hit pretty hard. Even yesterday, they weren't finding too much success.
No, they have not been, which is quite a shocker, I think, to a lot of AG fans. I know chat I've read back in the days, plenty of people really admire players on AG. For example, Do, right? Like, they worship him as like one of the best players in the world, and he is gonna hack it when it mattered the most. And today is one of those days. Past 2 rounds have been abysmal for AG Global. In fact, they finished in 12th spot on Kalahari just now.
Yeah, not exactly the greatest way to kind of end the game, but don't worry, we still have multiple maps because we're heading to the future. It's already predestined, so the real question is whether or not our teams here today can change that outcome as we make it to next Terra.
Can they outrun the Matrix, or will they be trapped in there forever? Terra is always a good map to really test the knowledge of the map and test how these teams really navigate such an urban environment. A lot of teams like CQC, but not when it involves a lot of building. So let's look at the flight path first and see where it brings these teams to.
Yep, shout out to the Galaxy S24 Ultra, right? Allowing these huge screens for our players, a big upgrade in their FOV, and allowing them to optimize their in-game UI to cover literally everything.
Flight path as well, still being very kind today. Evo's Divine taking southwestern side. BTR about to get hot from the team with the best performance thus far. Let's see how they handle this challenge.
I'm worried about the southern side, right? I see Twisted Minds. I see that Square is already being dominated, and PE Sports. I don't know how they're going to rotate out of there safely, but let's see if the engagements might make the difference. Now, BTR have to deal with attack all around. This is them getting hot drop. This is them getting hot dropped, right? If we're expecting BTR to hot drop, they probably wouldn't have been doing it to attack all around in the first place. But first blood achieved straight away by Jun. You do see the revive from Saming instantaneously as well. But Dix, unfortunately, tries to dash past, gets blasted down, and Aikal watching from the roof, getting so much damage lined up against them. Attack all around. Now down to 2 members. Same goes to BTR, and now the Riptide Rhythm ends up getting knocked. Unfortunately, that means that attack all around win out in the gunfight. Wait, is that? It's the Star Knights. The Star Knights are sticking their heads in.
I mean, this could be the end of BTR. Oh no, Kyong, can he get a revive in time? I think he did. Right at his last dying breath, he found a revive. So it's not the end for BTR just yet, but it sure as heck a very, very unfortunate start. Nika really tried his best, but the chip damage don't translate to any knocks. Vamos out in 12th spot. Let's see, the Star Knights can kind of pick up where BTR left. Jump shot all dead, and it's just down to 1. Star Knights have the entire battalion here to finish off Floki.
Yep, he's gonna isolate himself, right? Using those glue, get those revives down. Floki gonna get flushed out of his position so far. 18 Deer doing a good job, but he's at 10 HP. One shot can make the difference, but Grenade Launcher is the one who finds it, and that's attack all around. Eliminated, previously known as the Indo Stars, now known as the Star Knights. They are picking up the pace.
That's going to be a hack all around. Put in all the legwork, does not get a squad wipe thanks to Kyung's effort. So BTR, they're going to be sipping some tea on the side as they recuperate. As attack all around will have to sit in the lobby. Twisted Minds find WAG in front of them, and WAG desperately needs to get some points in. Iris literally sleeping in front of his phone as he gets his skull pierced by bullets. Twisted Minds going in with the Riptide Rhythm. Allen goes straight back. Explorer trying to hold the threads together, but just does not have the HP to do so. As Exposy finds him, WAG will be down to just Krillin.
Yep, but they do get a singular revive, but Twisted Minds don't walk away with any casualties. This tether has been making the difference in these fights. If not, those first initial shots, I think that Twisted Minds probably would have knocked down 2 in that situation. And unfortunate for them, it costed them 2 of their members because of that.
If you are on the side of Twisted Minds, definitely don't feel too good about it, but I suppose at least damage has been done. To go back to the drawing board, only Cyrus was brought back. Even the substitution as well. Krillin out. The Ghost in. The Ghost out and Krillin in. Twisted Minds not done just yet though. They want to chase him down. It's your first round of the day, and we're gonna make sure you're not gonna have much of a playtime.
Yeah, they're trying to end it. They're ending it as soon as possible. Krillin's gonna try his best to buy as much time as possible, but he's eventually going to fall down. They're not eliminated just yet. One of their members were not chased and manages to sneak away into Farmtopia, chilling and also getting those revives down. Twisted Minds, if they just look a little bit left and a little bit up, they probably would have spotted it. It looks like WAG get to walk away for free.
Another saving grace. Twisted Minds, the biggest winner of it all. 8 eliminations so far at the start of the round. See BTRs now screens again. As Star Knights will be heading towards them. DEIXA will see this surely. But BTR, the rest of them, in fact, are going to be busy handling heavy. And as soon as DEIXA turns his back, he gets shot down. The timing could not have been worse.
Unfortunate. Unfortunate indeed. Star Knights still scouting out what's ahead of them. Rotating towards the eastern side from north down towards south. Hopefully they get away in towards the ring for now. They have 6 eliminations, which is good momentum for them. But they need to amp up the pace if they want to still try and qualify for the top 12.
It's still a possibility, thankfully. It's a long journey for sure, but 2 extra we should do the job. BTR finding revives. Again, they have enough money to make it happen. Onyx Olympus, the center of attention right now, right down the middle. AG Global with a 1-3 split. PE Sports on the western side. They do see the BTR members drop down though. Heavy as well. Who is going to be the one that gets shot?
Well, it looks like AG wants to be the last one laughing here as they're immediately making their way, sending 3 of their members and their sniper just to hold Overwatch just in case anybody starts popping up on towards the 2nd floor or maybe get some verticality later on. It's the dash, Tatsuya dash, coming up from Cypher, wins out against Koja for it now. The Bombardier down for BTRs. The members are going to get chased here. It's going to be difficult for them to recover afterwards. This is their one opportunity to do so, and AG are not going to let him play.
AG, let's see. I mean, they should be able to get rid of Hans. Man, just drop back with the side arm and didn't even get a chance to do much. So the truck now belongs to AG Global for sure. They're not in the circle, but with the truck, they can definitely rotate faster.
Yeah. Now, let's look at the current position of everybody, right? 2 teams already eliminated. We have WAG, Heavy, and as well as BTR with casualties on their side looking to recover overall. It looks like BTR will get back to full fighting strength. Same goes for WAG, but they need loot, unfortunately. Now, all the teams that dropped down towards the southern side have basically just been holding their positions towards square and then expanding outwards. Twisted Minds, yes, they were in a fight earlier, but they're just taking out the outliers, right? Forcing them away so that they can encapsulate the rest like PE Sports. They haven't moved too much from the square, but now they're getting chased down by Diamond, blasting them off of the launcher.
Twisted Minds still racking up some of the eliminations. That's 9 already. Nero makes it number 10. Twisted Minds not getting greedy. Well, I say that they actually are blasting themselves in a deck of square, I guess. It's definitely not what they were thinking on their end. 2 teams. Onyx Olympus is going to be the entree.
Is this an overextension? No, Onyx Olympus are just unaware. Diamond immediately finds one onto Gary. He's trying to cut down his own glue wall and even has glue wall melters being deployed just to kind of blow through the rest of Onyx and take control over this compound. Dude, those are on the opposite side. Seamless is making sure that the off angles are taken care of as well. PE has an opportunity to just walk away from this entire fight, or they can capitalize on it because Twisted Minds are deep in there as they take down Kibes.
And Onyx Olympus really in a rough spot, so they will just try to escape Twisted Minds. Are they going to continue this chase? Maybe PE Sports will pick up the slack, but it is not even close to being safe for Onyx Olympus. They run away from Twisted Minds. They get chased by them regardless. They now gotta take the last stand because in front of them is gonna be Evo's Divine. Twisted Minds comes to corner. Diamond leading the charge. Of course, having a support system behind his back. Gardu runs out, gets shot down by Evo's Divine. Nameless is how people go down. Zairu really trying to put on his Rambo impression, but no. Twisted Minds still prevail. 13 eliminations.
Yep, focus straight on the elimination points. I think that was a smart choice to make. Still need to get as many as they can, but Twisted Minds are currently on a very hot streak. They should be able to get a revive, no problem, but AG looking to stop them here. They're already deploying all of their members at full fighting force as well. Something that Twisted Minds need to be prepared for. They get the revive down, but now they have to contest for the escalators. While the Posse was on that purchase, doesn't notice what was going on. Unfortunately, misses that opportunity. The Tetsuya dash will get him out of there. And now Twisted Minds have to pull back. They don't have a prime position against AG.
No prime position, but definitely the circle. They can hold AG hostage. Uh-oh, Saming. He got knocked down. Good day, finds Exposy. And what a shot, Caramel! Shooting ducks out of the sky. Nameless is eliminated. Exposy collected. AG Global strikes back hard.
Unlucky, unlucky indeed. Wait, PE Sports and as well as the Knights are currently in a conflict of their own. PE Sports forced back into a compound, and it looks like Star as well holding the opposite side. All right, so both teams with compounds of their own inside the ring so far. And on the northern front, we do see that Evos Divine falling and coming into contact with WAG.
Evos Divine now are put in a rough spot. WAG have definitely recovered. Aimgod doesn't want to be a part of it. It actually hits the wall instead. Alan will easily take care of him. 7 eliminations for WAG. One of the better rounds that they have. Tyrant comes through. Alan loses the blue wall. But we'll just duck back into the stadium. Nothing much to worry about. WAG disengaged just in time as BTR shows up.
Yep, and BTR, they got into the ring, but right in front of BRU. So they're going to be able to scout out their positions, and even today, just making it a little difficult for anybody to do anything with WAG close behind them. BRU, they don't want the attention right now. They're taking their time with this. Even Twisted Minds getting a couple of revives down. Should be able to scout out the positions on the western side. PE Sports from Deca Square are very happy with their spot. The longer they hold out, the better it is. But let's see whether the ring is going to be just as kind.
I think so far, most of the teams have gotten the read right. Evil Divine expires. BTR against BRU once more. The circle kind of goes towards the eastern side a little bit. It will spell trouble for BRU. And they're not the only... BTR isn't the only team they gotta worry about. You also got WAG and Star Knights waiting for the opportunity. Even the Gold Portal was preemptively placed down. Twisted Minds gets the full team revive.
All right, good full team revive. But where are they going to find a spot on the ring, especially when the teammates are pretty much scattered across the board, right? With no real safe space. Man, the ring just pulls closer towards the center. The structure that BTR in is within the ring. And now BRU have a couple of decisions to make, right? They're aware that WAG is right next to them. If they can flush out BTR, that'll be a good fun time. But it's difficult, right? BTR, they're going to pull back. Riptide Rhythm, going to get rid of their blue walls. That's right in front of their compound right now. Let's have a full overview of the map.
And we do see Twisted Minds basically on their last breath. AG Global looking to find the final one, but I believe Heavy is the one that sealed the fate of the team. The esports Blue Wall a bit short. Now they gotta kind of face off against the full force of AG Global. Star Knight somehow loses 5 MKS to a grenade launcher from Krillin of all things.
Wasn't expecting to see that in my lifetime, but okay. I mean, that it works pretty well because now we see that AG is starting to push into the position of PE Sports. BRU still a couple decisions to make, but WAG very comfortable with the spot that they're in now as we see AG eliminate Heavy, no issues whatsoever. Eliminating PE Sports easily, but now with 14 eliminations, teams are hyper aggressive and more so really searching out for the elimination points. Now BRU in full engagement with BTR Delta.
So far they've been tied 1-1 today in terms of a 4v4 engagement against each other. Both were in the final phases of the game. BRU, they're just gonna ignore BTR for a bit, gonna focus on AG Global on the other end. They understand that this is just not as simple as a 4v4 fight. External forces beckons BRU. Still able to maneuver pretty well despite being sort of exposed to not just AG Global but also BT.
It's assuming that they do. Caramel is going to be coming back down with Revive, but trying to blow that monster truck up. Last piece of cover for them, temporary cover that AG actually has. Final ring is here. Do see that Star Knight's going to be looked upon by everybody. BRU, even Bigatron Delta, nothing. Honestly, just allowing BRU to just sit under them for the time being. They don't mind taking pressure knowing that BRU can shoot back. At the same time, BRU are making sure that they get rid of the temporary cover, and they find the opportunity to actually make it in. And there's a good launcher coming out from BRU once again, opening things up.
Yeah, Jonah got a two-man destruction with the grenade launcher and even get the third at the very end. This is the best case scenario for BRU. They look for potential second boost. AG fighting their own battle. AG Global obviously on the losing side. Sci-Fi is eliminated. It's the best round for WAG so far today. The win rate actually favors them a little bit, 54% to 46. But BRU can easily turn that around. Statistics do not fully describe the power that they actually have. Wasana with Tatsuya. Allen instantly tries to challenge him. Wasana needs to go right now. Cluster does zone outsiders for a while. You see the A124 disabling gets High's ability. The Tatsuya will be out of commission for a while. Riptide Rhythm from Moshi breaks some of the blue wall, split the battle line. Wasana survives a 3-man enclosure, breaks free of it, but Jonah is not so lucky. Allen sprays him down mid-air with the Trogon. X4 does go down. Get High with a snipe. WAG scramble to find the second target. Krillin goes down in the middle of the circle.
Absolute mess, but we're coming to the closure here. 3v2 so far. 3v1. BRU are losing members, and Moshi can only do so much against the full fighting force. And heathered up Allen as he chases him down to find the booyah. WAG recover.
And the W in this team stands for a win. Best round today, very much needed round, in fact, to keep them against teams like Falcons, tackle around, and even to pull themselves away from BTR. Considering that BTR didn't make it as far, WAG will breathe a sigh of relief as they still have a chance to break it in the top. I mean, it could have come at a better time.
It really could have come at a better time. Again, desperation forces teams to do some crazy things, but it's great to see that WAG has put themselves back on the board.
What a performance at the very end, and even Allen, talk about his support system to X4 stepping up, Krillin as well coming in as kind of the fifth member after they swapped the Ghost out, also putting in work. Everything definitely started with Allen getting the spray down on the end, cleaning the battlefield up, isolating the members of BRU. Very, very important, and outdoing them with numbers.
Yep, outdoing them in numbers, and that, honestly, I feel like the tether is making it really, really difficult to find the trade in the first place. But overall, I mean, this game has been pretty bloody, right? Everybody on the southern side didn't really get to move out of their positions. Twisted Minds, I think, were really unfortunate because they came out with a lot of eliminations, right? Flanking and finding, eliminating a lot of the teams on that southern. They never really recovered every single one of those revives. It's just constant pressure from every other squad.
Even Twisted Minds have been doing that, but of course they finally met their end when they pushed the luck a bit too far. This one, the grenade launcher, a couple of grenades lob, and then a RGS from Jonah to really knock just from a couple of explosions. At the very end is WAG really making it hard for the side of BRU. X4 zoning out Moshi even, and making sure that he does not get to contribute from long range. That is, pressure points are available, you just gotta find it.
Yeah, really good identification coming in from WAG, at least now that they're back on the board. We can hope that maybe they're going to right a couple of wrongs on our very final map here today. We don't know what it is. It's still going to be random. I'm feeling like Bermuda would be the most ideal for everybody at this point, considering how aggressive they're being so far. But then again, it's random. It might not fall on it.
For me, if everyone wants to play aggressive, I highly recommend Kalahari, because where you spin the wheel, right? You get aggressive, you get punished very easily, but teams that pull it off, it looks really good on them. But then again, if you ask me what random maps I want, I would always say Kalahari.
Yep. Not too surprised there. Not too surprised with your opinions overall about that map, but maybe for some of these teams, that overall we did see a bit of a general shift in the mindset of these players now, looking for these elimination points and not just about finding the best position in the ring. Because earlier today we were seeing teams take early aggression. That's fine. First 2 rings. Take as many fights as you can, and then after that, start hard reads on what 4th and 5th ring is going to look like.
Yeah, and I think, for the read for kind of the rotation as well, we're seeing BRU, in fact, slowing things down a little bit, right? I think a season ago, they would have been the first one, or at least the top 3 to get into the circle as soon as possible, but now playing from outside of the ring and just bulldozing through every single team. Let's listen to what WAG has to say about the first win of the day.
Been waiting for. It's a booyah for Vietnam team, and I'm your MC today, Yonsu. Welcome to our interview after the match. Right next to me. So, can you say hello to the audience, please? Xin chào Alan. Thì lời đầu tiên, có thể gửi lời chào đến các bạn khán giả trước được không ạ?
Xin chào mọi người, mình là WAG Alan.
So, from 1 to 10, please rate the intensity of the match of the game today, please. Alan ơi, thì đánh giá theo thang bậc từ 1 đến 10. Bạn thấy với những cái sự căng thẳng và khốc liệt ở trong những cái trận đấu ngày hôm nay ạ?
10.
10. 10. Then if it's a 10, how do you feel right now? Nếu như mà là 10 á, thì Alan hiện tại đang cảm thấy như thế nào ạ?
Sau trận top 1 vừa rồi, cảm giác tinh thần rất là căng thẳng, hồi hộp.
After we got our first booyah, we feel really horrified, intense, and as well. So Alan, I'm really happy that we finally received this booyah, but can you please share with me and the audience that what happened in the first game and also in the other games? Thì Yusu rất là vui khi mà chúng ta đã có được một này để có thể gọi là giải tỏa đi những cái muộn phiền, những cái khó khăn. Nhưng mà chia sẻ cho Yusu và các bạn khán giả biết được là đã có chuyện gì xảy ra trong những cái game đầu không ạ?
Team mình đang cố gắng để tìm cho team những đường đi mới, những con đường mới, những bài toán mới để phù hợp với toàn bộ trận đấu từ giờ tới lúc chung kết ạ.
So we are trying to find our new ways, new tactics, and trying to find the perfect playstyle that fit us so we can go to the final. But unfortunately, it took us a lot of time and effort to go to that way. But we're really happy that we received this booyah. So Alan, I know that you guys have been through a very stressful time. So in our gaming house, who would cover everything so you guys can concentrate into the game? Thì Yusu biết là đội tuyển của chúng ta đã phải trải qua rất là nhiều những cái thời gian, đặc biệt là trong những cái trận đấu như ngày hôm nay. Thì bình thường ở trong gaming house của mình á, ai là người sẽ lo tay hết tất cả mọi việc như là cơm nước nè, giặt giũ lau nhà nè, cho mọi người có thể là toàn tâm toàn ý vào việc thi đấu nha.
Chắc chắn là anh Cờ Lam game thủ ạ.
Chỉ có anh Cờ Lam game thủ thôi.
Dạ đúng rồi.
Bình thường là anh Cờ Lam sẽ làm gì cho mình ở nhà nha.
Dạ, nói chung là anh sẽ như là ổ xin cũng được ạ. Dạ vâng.
Nói anh Cờ Lam vậy ta. So basically, in WAG, you guys will know that there's a very famous, a popular media content creator of WAG is Calm, player Calm, and he usually do everything in the house, including household, cooking for night. So again, congratulations, Alan, and also WAG for having their first booyah. Do you have any words you heard in the last game? Thì Yusu xin được chúc mừng Alan cũng như là WAG bởi vì các bạn đã có được một chiếc booyah rất là hoàn hảo trong trận đấu vừa rồi. Alan có lời nào muốn gửi đến các bạn khán giả ở trong game cuối cùng này không ạ?
Cảm ơn tất cả các bạn đã theo dõi đội tuyển WAG và WAG sẽ cố gắng trận đấu cuối cùng này. Dạ vâng.
Thank you for following us and we will try our best in the last game. Cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều vì đã theo dõi phỏng vấn của mình và WAG Alan. Các bạn hãy cùng Yusu cổ vũ hết mình cho ba đội tuyển Việt Nam trong ngày thi đấu ngày hôm nay nhé. Thank you so much for watching our interview. Now let's head back to the caster and see you guys, hopefully, in the last game.
Hopefully we will meet again. Thank you, Yunsu and Alan. A lot of insights. Always love the interview from her. You get to learn so much, not just about the players, but also the environment that they surround themselves in. And shout out to WAG.com. You really are one of those I call it wifey materials. Wait, husband materials. Whatever, you get everything done, and that's what I like.
He gives a new meaning to "I got you," right? And no matter what your problem is, hey, need to get carried in game, hop into the food, I got you, man. Every single time, he's reliable, and I think that WAG need to find that level of consistency. They've seen compositions going around, and yes, they are playing like a team, but at the end of the day, consistency is going to be key. And so far, it's great to see that WAG again, but X4 coming in pretty hot here, harassing a lot of players with 4,000 worth of damage and 4 elims here in Game 5.
Yeah, good to see him back on the cards again. This time running the Iris, one of the more rarer characters being selected, because it really kind of locks you into playing that sniper rifle. You don't really benefit from anything else unless you're playing from long range. Cross Allen as there as the backbone of the team. It's good. It's pretty interesting to listen to him say that they have been really spending a lot of time that fits them. I still think that they are still going through the soul-searching phase, but I guess this win would solidify the direction that they are going towards.
Yeah, the direction can change every single day here at FFWS, right? We've seen the change and shift the mentality of players midway of today already, starting off really aggressive and then really going all guns blazing, everybody just looking for eliminations. We see Allen at 7 eliminations as the elim leader, but then even Diamond was being aggressive, Du was getting involved, even Krillin making sure that he's backing up his boy Allen as well.
Yeah, not a sight, honestly, to see Krillin in the elim leader chart, let alone Allen. So WAG really finding that, but Diamond, Du, Cypher, these are all very common names, and it also kind of explains, also kind of gives a good explanation to people who wonder how are these teams who are not getting booyahs stay in the running for top spots, because they keep getting eliminations. Players of the game, X4 with the most damage dealt, Diamond with 8 headshots, and Cypher with the most blue wall used.
Hopefully for some of these teams, especially for like AG in particular, really need to find a place. They've kind of figured out the early game at this point, but they haven't figured now that the mentality has shifted. They want to be aggressive, and it looks like teams are posing resistance. It means their timings need to change in terms of where they start picking and choosing their fights. They could look to just not fight early and then start working around some of the squads later down the line, maybe towards mid game. But that's 30 total points for WAG this time, and even for AG Global, right? 22, finding 14 eliminations of their own. So they're getting close here. It looks like finding the eliminations has been working out for them.
100%. And this not only puts WAG, it gives them a confident boost, but also helps them push past attack all around. Officially in top 5 as of the previous round. And that's going to make BTR's job a whole lot harder, because they are almost 100 points ahead of BTR, who has shown us some great rounds, but also some rounds where you really wish that they would have done a bit better. For BRU, 2 points away from 800.
And it just comes down to one decision, right? Like between BTR and Twisted Minds in that previous game, one decision is what costed them a majority of the map. And more importantly, I think that Twisted Minds was a lot more devastating deep in the ring, and there were a lot of POIs to work from. They were getting revive after revive at the cost of currency, but really that ends out at the end of the day. Even for BTR, right? Taking the early aggression from so early on here at FFWS is scary, because now...
With that being said, we gotta take a look at the map selector, the upcoming map. Let's see what do we roll this time, right? A random map is always kind of a for me, because we get to really see how the chips fall. In this case, seems like we're going to Alpine again.
Oh, Alpine again. It looks like, I mean, these final maps between Alpine as well as Bermuda coming up pretty often here. Alpine in particular, going to be an interesting one. We did see that BRU dominated on it. Let's see if they can pull that same performance again based off what the top 3 teams. It could have been anybody's game, honestly, but we'll see whether or not it's going to be a big game changer for Twisted Minds.
Could be BRU's game for sure. They are still the best team on Alpine. If they can get another booyah here, I mean, they are getting into 800 points for sure, but this booyah could set them miles apart of everyone else. Even look at the top 48 points for BRU, You compare them to attack all around, they are 70 points ahead. Outrageous.
Woo! Really outrageous, as a matter of fact. Really setting themselves are really, truly built different. But I guess now that we're going back to Alpine, it's good for attack all around, considering that they are contested for their spots. Maybe they might be able to try and catch up to WAG. It's really a battle between the both of them for top 5 at this point in time.
Yeah, there is still a big possibility for WAG to kind of catch up to the spot. Even I think in this case for attack all around, they are 8 points. Well, attack all around is not 8 points. Excuse me, 5 points of being tied up with WAG. Then it's not that far behind, honestly. If WAG can finish today, this week, just wildly impressed. That's all I would ask for.
Well, here in Alpine, make sure you get your winter clothing ready. It's going to be a chilly sight. Let's see how our survivors are going to deal with this new climb match here in Alpine once again. And maybe they could change the outcome. But let's start off with the flight path. Let's see what the flight path is going to be. Scoot, we've been having very good flight paths the entirety of today. Let's keep it up. Make it 6 for 6.
Absolutely. See how generous can this get. Everything brought to you by, of course, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, keeping a win streak, making sure that every single moment of your gaming experience is tip-top. And we maintain the good flight path record, 6 out of 6 today.
Very generous today, very, very generous by our Free Fire gods. Looking at the drop spots, Doc is going to be dominated by PE Sports. BTR are going to find their own little island, but AG making sure they have control over Stadium, but they will slow down and drop it into with Doog, going to make sure that these outer compounds are going to be taken care of. The first ring, very generous as well, right smack map.
Making sure everyone gets a fair start, so no one can, no complaints about kind of the circle being uneven. Could be this 1v1 standoff. A lot of footsteps from Keybase, and that is going to draw Twisted Minds to him for sure. See the encounter happens. Twisted Minds, actually, whoever that is, did slow down at the end. So it's going to allow Keybase to use the Tatsuya dash to kind of get distance to go to Sunside.
Yeah, once you're at the solar panels, it's safe way ahead. If you get shown, he has plenty of places to turn and quickly get into cover. He's going to turn around, though. He wants to make sure that his back is completely clear. We're going to cut on over to the Star Knights on the north side by Garrison. They're already in and hold their position if they want to, but it looks like they're transversing deeper in.
Really trying to make sure that they won't be affected too much by the upcoming few circles. But there are teams that like to be in the center or at least close to it. In this case, we're seeing attack all around, just moving north could put them in at odds with Star Knights.
Well, let's see if that actually happens, because attack all around have been laying the punishment onto the Star Knights, usually in the middle on. Let's find out. With 30 seconds left before the blue starts closing in, attack all around, stalk, and just wait patiently, hoping that might walk into them. But we're going to cut over to Heavy and as well as Vamos right now, as Heavy is about to enter the perimeter of Vamos, and I'm pretty sure that Mika and McRory are aware.
Even Jun is kind of in the building of his own. 1-2-1 split. Of course, Heavy making a heavy investment to go for the wraparound. Legolov will have a lot of responsibility on his hands. Star Knights on the other side will be assaulted by attack all around, something that we did see coming. Grenades flying up on both sides. Buster just nicking Jump God's health bar a little bit, but Raz under a lot of pressure. Here comes the rush from attack all around. His limit to lead the charge. Trogon in hand. One doesn't connect onto Raz. Somehow, Star Knight is going to make a full retreat, but then wall falls. Kruger finds himself exposed. Star Knight re-engages. 18 Deer needing to join his team and fights MKS with the support from afar, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's enough.
Yeah, it's really not enough. They're under-equipped for this, unfortunately. Not everybody is rocking the Trogon. Some is still holding mini Uzis as well. Yes, it's great for CQC, but attack all around with 2 down members at this point in time might look for a revive. They've done plenty of damage against the Star Knights at this point. They bring back Cougar. Fires looking to try and turn this. Guy gets traded. 18 Deer finds it. That's great. He's got the Trogon, and now he's going to be able to single-handedly wipe a majority of this squad. Attack all around have failed on their endeavors, and here are you now raining hell from above.
How did that hit 18 dear? It felt so safe. BRU finding 2 free points, of course, as they pick up the grass piece for the Gazonic Olympus. This one erupting to maximum capacity right at the start. Don't try to look for an isolation. That's behind Gary. Response! What a Trogon shot to the gut. As Don't Cry did not see that coming. Gary, now, but he got to do a lot more than that. The next on the list is Busan. Gary somehow finds the nub again, but it's just enough against the full force of PE.
Oh, the distraction push tactics in the middle of that fight threw him off guard while the rest of his team blasted him down. And now we look over at BTR and as well as Minds. BTR didn't have the greatest early game last map, and Twist the Minds. They don't make the same mistake. They're gonna launch on out of there, but not in an exposed area. By the time they hit down, hit the ground, should be able to get a full reset off before BTR catches up. Heavy, actually, as a matter of fact, dealing with Heavy. Looks like Han's able to find Mika for now. Jun trying his best, but looks like one here. Jun needs to start backing away to get some revives down.
Hans literally just won that 1v1 against McRory by bunny hopping. Some pretty cool theatrics. Heavy with 4 eliminations. Vamos, I believe, still in the game for now. It's definitely not looking good for them, especially when this for way too long, and Heavy decided that they want to break the ice.
Speaking of which, Twisted Minds, we have Nameless out in the blue while Xboxy and Saming are on the run, getting members here. Looks like things have not been working out for Twisted Minds, being chased halfway across the map. And BTR, they don't mind this, right? Because technically, while they are chasing Twisted Minds, they're technically cleaning the outside of that ring. More confident. If somebody comes in for a third, they would probably do it early rather than late, so they know that nobody's on the outside blue coming in.
I'm surprised that BTR thought that they would give up the chase, but I suppose they realized that they split up the members of Twisted Minds. This is the best time to strike. They have 2 shots. That's the corner turn. Young able to find Saming. That's 2 walls expended. Saming forced the CQC. Not his best. Gets the first one. And that's going to leave Exposy completely alone. Does win the first one against DEIXA, but Koja comes in. That's the tap in and 2 points for BTR.
Yep. Nicely done. Nicely done. At the edge of the ring as well, so it's just a free pass to walk in. And wait, just at the edge of my eye, I just saw the Star Knights start walking up. But here, BRU once again, strong cohesion as they've already found a straggler inside the blue, and it's attack all around. Unfortunately, going down pretty quick here. The rest of the members attack all around quickly bail out in towards the ring.
BRU also have to start moving as they are in the blue. Still the second ring. Doesn't hurt as much for now. You can still afford to for a little bit. Because Divine seem like they wanna it's got wiped out. Gem God fighting the straggler, so that's 3 points for attack all around. But they are getting gate capped by BRU though. Look at BRU, they are running. I mean, Jonah alone is going up and just 2 shots to take care of Limit. What a headshot. Jump God now the next on his crosshairs.
Oh my goodness, so fast to respond. Jonah not going to let Jump God get away. The binocular is being used to start scouting out ahead inside the ring, but for now, they just need to get this straggler away, and once they do, they can start making their way in towards the ring. They're running out of resources, though. Jonah is currently running 2 minutes as of right now. Probably not the best decision to keep up with this chase, but we'll see how BRU handles it.
Have a vehicle. Jonah is about to hop into the back of the truck. It is time to make our way into the circle. Relief attack all around to the elements. I don't really have to worry too much. WAG will be in the clear for now. Should be able to spot out the members of Heavy. Vitan holding that bridge, but inevitably he will have to move as he starts taking excessive access damage from the blue zone. WAG definitely feel a bit safer.
Yeah, they don't mind. They can just wait this out, right? They can resupply once they're now, making sure their backs are clear, and also having a safe passageway in is going to be extremely key. It seems that they are aware that people might be towards the western half of this southern side, so if they just head up north to free pass into the ring, but they don't know for sure.
It's going to be murky territory. Hans will be doing recon work, but they do have a truck raise, and that's good news. Vamos, 7 points. Not too shabby, honestly. It was a break free from a bit of that pressure in the early game. Now making their way through Forest Red. It's eastwards that they are going after where the circle is. Limit lands and shot down by Export.
Yeah, I'm curious to see whether or not they're going to enter through the river mouth and which side, whether north or south of that river mouth, because it makes a difference here. If they're going north, at the very least, it quickly should be freer in terms of landscape and traversing should be easier. But the southern side is a dangerous spot to be in. Heavy still waiting it out in spawn before they make a decision on which side of the map they want to be on. But yeah, we're going to take a quick technical pause here. It looks like there are some issues happening. Our marshals will be right on it, and hopefully we can get it fixed quick.
And let's making sure that, you know, with the best equipment, we want them to have the best experience. And the internet latency is part of it. Hopefully we get it resolved soon, because we are a very, very intense phase of the game, right? Circle 2 just ended. We're going into phase 3. So teams are starting to converge into the safe zone. They're starting to look for spots that they could kind of hunker down and build a base.
Yeah, and I think that it's a good idea to find a structure early on, especially on this map of Alpine, because again, some of the end game rings can be really, really difficult, especially in high concentrated, natural structured areas. Other times it could just be wide open fields, right? So finding an early spot now is much better, because waiting for the fifth ring is a lot more dangerous to do, especially if you're on a lack of resources. Like Heavy probably not going to be waiting out in the blue during fourth ring.
Oh yeah, and when you're on a map like Alpine, you generally are going to be hoping that the circle at least gives you some sort of building, and if not, you're most likely fighting out. It's like Kalahari but snow. Of course, a lot more natural cover to work with. At the end of the day, it comes down to who makes it to the center first. And in this case, BRU still skirting the edges. We're seeing Heavy do the same. BTR just as well. So it really is a matter of time before we see the convergence down in the middle.
Yeah, and I feel like BRU are taking the path of least resistance most of the time, right? Unless they're hunting down their targets, they'll really go up and put as many resources as necessary, and then look to start making it into the ring. At this point, I would only imagine that they want to stay under the radar, because every single time we've seen BRU not make it into at least top 2 or top 3 is because they find an engagement midway, going in towards that 4th or 5th ring, and that fight never really stops. It usually escalates further than it's supposed to.
So far, they've been taking the right steps for sure. Check out top 3 damage dealers. So far, Moshi just the first one to break 100,000. Export as well, alongside Dew, all making it into the 100,000 damage range. Moshi is 109,000, in fact, way ahead of everyone else.
Yeah, he's just making sure that he's landing his shots accurately every single time. Absolute beast of a sniper, especially with the AWM in hand. All of them are really great snipers, I'm not going to lie. They've definitely had their double kill moments. They've definitely had their...
Yeah. Except for Moshi, this guy doubles as a rusher. You know what? Actually, he plays all roles. Now that I think about it.
Yeah, nothing I wouldn't imagine he can't do.
From him. In terms of headshots amounts, though, Wasana actually has the most, despite being the rusher, 154 for him. Saifa again, he's in top 3. Diamond as well, 152 headshots for both of them. All rocking the Trogon, right? I lived long enough to see the evolution of the meta, where we got Trogon being the weapon that gives you a headshot, that lands you most of the headshots.
Hey man, it's a shotgun. You generally aim for the head. A couple of pellets are going to connect, right? That's how they're nailing these heads, like somewhere close to their neck. You might get a lucky headshot in the process. But again, consistency seems to be on Wasana's side. And well, I think even when we look at the game, since we are at a current technical pause, Vamos having a good number of eliminations this early on, and it doesn't look like their spirits are down.
Definitely does help, right? I think you look at everyone else on the squad, Legalov definitely is matured. Right? You look at competitor, he's gonna be there to hold the team together. Probably a big brother figure at this point. Although there has been jokes from the side of Aragukazu towards him to not scold his new teammates, but they seem to be gelling together pretty well.
I mean, they're getting the chemistry down, right? I think that's the most important thing, being able to communicate effectively. But let's look at the player head-to-head, because we've got to compare the somewhat support, somewhat fragger, somewhat bombardiers, Krillin as well as Koja, because both of them have been playing a very substantial role for their individual teams. I would honestly say, like, secret standouts, dark horses in their own rights.
I think Koja definitely has really, proven his worth today if he hasn't yet. 2 MVP titles. Krillin didn't make it to the podium of MVP, but secretly has been a great support system for the team. 7 kills, I remember, was his 7 eliminations, I believe, was the highest amount he got this game. That was the round that kind of got the booyah for his team. So I think you look at the numbers alone, KD-wise, Koja definitely stands. But for Krillin, he's a lot more mellow, but still achieving the same effect.
Hey man, he's just boosting up Allen, making sure that Allen can get in, find that initial advantage as he pushes in and gets out. That's when the rest of the team starts flushing through, because if they don't find that initial knock with the help of Allen or their sniper, then most of these fights, they take very slowly.
Yeah, even the stars to watch, but this time it's going to be Dew, Don't Cry, and Jump God. And I mean, Dew is just, how is this even a competition, right? 3.1 KD, 2.4 KD damage, 2 point average headshots. The closest one is Jump God with 2.7, but overall, Dew is just massive.
Yeah, he is massive as an individual player, right? He's always seemingly consistently putting up the right numbers every single time. So it begs the question, what is going on with AG right now? Why are they doing badly despite having some pretty decent players and pretty deep in fights?
Yeah, that has kind of been a headache, honestly, for AG's side. They have pretty good, they have one of the best mechanical players, and it's not to say that they have not before. Dew probably was one of the closest members on that team to come close to a World Championship title. They slip away from him when he was with Nigma Galaxy. I think they finished 4th or 5th because of a horrible last. So see him still trying to find his stride, at least in the team environment, that one, I suppose that they still have some time to make up for it. Back in the game though, a couple more teams remain.
Yep, let's find out here, because I'm seeing that AG going to be throwing out that UAV towards BTR side while P Esports watches carefully from within the ring. Now, this could be a make it or break it really struggle. They got hyper aggressive the last time, getting third upon thirds. Now, with AG launching themselves in towards the ring side, looks like BTR are going to take the eastern side of the upcoming ring.
I love this move from BTR. It not only allows them to get into the ring, but if there's ever a fight, it could actually be the third party. Unlike this gathering, he decides to show up. Actually decides to not land on top of the structure, seeing the attack all around have already taken point, but that exposes them not only to the attack all around, but also to WAG and Vamos. And Hans, he's the one that's going to take a beating first.
Yeah, and Mingle is really safe. All you're going to have to hope for is to apply enough pressure to flush him out. And unfortunately for Jump God, did not get the memo here. They tie rhythm towards BRU's side of the map, the north side. Nobody's really watching their backs. That's why Vamos has been able to creep up. Finally, somebody turns around and they notice, oh, yeah, there's WAG behind us. And even the, did the Star Knights want to be part of that too? No. Looks like the Revive spots out the members of Attack All Around as well as Heavy, and they're going to start turning their heads.
That Revive in this particular situation as a recon drone. So LB on the other end. I mean, BTR again. I say that they made the right choice. Now the challenge moves away from them. Then they gotta start getting a lot more active. P Esports is that roadblock. So this next circle is crucial for BTR.
Very crucial indeed. That north side has barely any cup play with, right? You're gonna have to hope that every team looks away. Let's see the next pull. It pulls more towards the southern side, so maybe not so much of a hard push for the side of BTR. They can actually slow rotate into the ring, knowing that they are on the shorter side. So technically, the blue catches up. The speed of the blue closing in on the shorter side is going to take a lot longer compared to the long side.
Because of the movement of the circle, almost 80% of the teams now have to make their rotation. Left stranded, the outside Vamos making it in and losing 2 members instantly to Just two separate teams. It's not looking good for them. Oki just get knocked down by Get Nice with the troll gone, but McRory, he's out of here. So Vamos, despite a pretty good start, now are left with 2 members in the final circle.
Yeah, it looks like BRU launched their way into attack all around. It doesn't look like they're on the same floor, but they expect attack all around as well as Heavy to eventually give up this spot, right? Or they're just going to play around the base of it. Because now Twisted Minds are attacking the Star Knights. While we see PE Sports having to defend their own against BTR, this is going to be a very important battle. It looks like the start of 10th PE still hunkering down, fortifying their position even more. They cannot let BTR get in on this building. It's the only one right smack into this 4th ring. They go to the 2nd floor, actually go for the jump out here if they're brave. But there's too many teams to actually do it. Don't Cry makes the call. He spots out Twisted Minds. They've got pulled out.
So much demands and so little supply. The property value of that building is going through the roof. PE will hang on with their lives or will die trying. BTR decides to infiltrate the 1st floor for now, as you see pickups happening across the map. BRU make right through the garage. There you go. Vamos knocked out, eliminated by WAG and Heavy. Combined efforts of the Vietnamese squads. Circle pulls right to Twisted Minds, as now they become the sole owner of the safe zone.
Yeah, it looks like, I'm not sure if I saw that correctly. We'll see in just a little bit, but BRU have taken full control over that position and eventually will start pulling in towards Heavy's side. Now, what they don't realize is that Heavy is getting pincered in. WAG are actually in a full committed fight towards their side of the map. Another fight breaking out on the other structure, but BRU, they don't mind just watching this, right? Allow WAG to get closer and closer. If they try to go into the blue, they're going to get blasted. If they're going to try and take the bottom floor through the outer door, they're also going to get blasted.
Be the infighting of the Vietnamese. Dude does take out Ekao with the ice grenade. Kyong also put out of commission. So AG Global winning out the fight between them and BTR, but BTR not done just yet, not willing to go down without a fight. AG Global will just surround this building. The 1st floor occupied by BTR, 2nd floor occupied by PE. As BRU finds the 7th elimination, this is such a mess. AG Global takes out Bigatron Delta.
Finally, they have to give up the real estate. They could tank the blue for a little bit, but it's not worthwhile. With so many blue walls still available, BRU still pushing in very, very hard, taking out Heavy in the meantime and conquering the western border of this ring. Now everybody is pushing through the southern side, and Twisted Minds have the killing floor. PE Sports the next to fall here. AG still holding on, but even for WAG, they must turn around to actually face off BRU. 9 eliminations achieved by Twisted Minds, having the prime map for WAG, the next to fall in 4th.
Tight rhythm to get rid of all the glue walls, and a single shot to the heart. Dude is out of here. 4v4 is a full fight. Jonah already put out of commission. He's the one with the RGS, so no grenade launchers for BRU to work with. Wasana, they go for the rush. A wraparound 360 exposing, completely caught off guard. BRU evens the playing field. Nameless is going to be the next down. The tether from Diamond to keep him supported. Get High now wants to go for the wraparound, but they are able to isolate Nameless. It's going to be the dome, the time turner to buy time. Nameless just darting in and out of it as the rest of Twisted Mind comes in for the collapse, but they are the one losing members. Sa Ming cannot win the 1v1. Diamond takes on Wasana. Wasana runs away, but no Tatsuya dash. Meets he goes down. Bullshit Get High now. They're trying to pull this back together for BRU as Twisted Minds recovers Sa Ming. Get High in the red, blasted by Diamond. Diamond fights 2 in a row. Twisted Minds with the booyah to end week number 4.
Wow! Twisted Minds taking the booyah finally. They are ecstatic about this. Full of life, full of energy, and under-equipped for that fight, and yet they still pulled through. Just beating BRU in an honest 4v4.
And BRU put up heck of a fight. Minds taking out potentially one of the most important elements of BRU. Jonah, the only one with the grenade launcher, who would have made a huge difference. But BRU, the wraparound, right? The shot calling from BRU cannot be denied. They made that instant mad dash to the back line to eliminate one of the Twisted Minds members to make it an even fight. But Twisted Minds take on BRU with their full force, wins the 1v1, and eventually outnumber BRU.
Personally, I thought it was really dangerous because we're we're seeing a POV of Dangerous here, right? He made the initial push, and I feel like he overextended because, again, he is the one who's going to get, he is the output of that tether. So he proactive trades against his opponent because he can recover up very quickly afterwards, and that's when we see that BRU avoid him. But eventually, once they have to take him on head on, it's like you're fighting the life bar of two people, and every single moment they waste, he's going to be able to regenerate.
Just very good movements from Twisted Minds, right? Finding isolated fights. And the fact that, you know, they were able to recover Saming, despite Saming being knocked down, I think that was also very crucial to give them the numbers advantage. Highlight reel, this final round, extremely messy. A lot of teams finding themselves in these early engagements, but never really a finisher. So the revives come true. A lot of teams enter the final few phases with what? But when these big fights break out, it was BRU and Twisted Minds that really took advantage of the situation.
Yeah, they really did. I think Twisted Minds, they being actually pulled. They knew that they were in prime position to start forcing everybody else on the southern side to bleed. But I definitely think that some of these teams really need to stop relying so much on just strike. It's also about who currently is holding the attention of their opponents, whether line of sight is even broken. And yes, this final ring is a little tough because it's high to low. Not the steepest of hills, but enough for Twisted Minds to be able to see the entirety of the end game.
Oh yeah, 100%. Of course, with the circle, but we kind of put it out there, right? The Twisted Minds, there's a chance that they get control of the circle. Let's listen to what Twisted Minds had to say about that booyah.
Twist to the mind, and this is Twisted Mind! Yay! Nameless card! So we have Nameless with us today, and it's been a long time to see you guys. What happened to the champion of the world to take this long to come here?
ก็เราไม่ค่อยได้ออกมาคุยกันสักเท่าไหร่ก็เลยถามว่าเกิดอะไรขึ้นกับแชมป์เก่าจากทัวร์ระดับโลกที่ผ่านมาช่วงเดือนเมษาทำไมถึงใช้เวลานานถึงจะกลับมาอยู่ตรงนี้อีกครั้ง
ก็มีปัญหานิดนึงครับมีปัญหานิดนึงยังไม่ค่อยลั่นเท่าไหร่มาลั่นเกมท้ายแต่ว่าอาทิตย์หน้าเดี๋ยวมาคุยกันอีกครับ
We got some technical problems so we didn't perform well but we gonna come back next week for sure
So is it true that your problem is because you cannot reset yourself between the game?
แล้วมันจริงไหมคะที่แบบว่าปัญหาของเราก็คือเราไม่สามารถรีเซ็ตอารมณ์ของตัวเองในแต่ละเกม
ใช่ครับรีเซ็ตอารมณ์ยังไม่ค่อยได้เท่าไหร่
So is this booyah will be the unlock for your team to do or to do a better performance in the next game in the next day
ก็คือการได้บูย่าครั้งนี้จะทำให้แบบว่าครั้งหน้าถัดๆไปอ่ะเราจะทำได้ดีขึ้นกว่านี้ใช่ไหมคะ
ใช่ครับเดี๋ยวลั่นแน่ครับเดี๋ยวลั่นแน่ชนะ BRU สักทีครับ
Oh
we can defeat Buriram United Esport
Okay I think you have something to say to the BRU so this is the last question Anything you want to say to the BRU especially Wasana
มีอะไรอยากฝากถึงทีมบุรีรัมย์ไหมคะโดยเฉพาะวาสนา
ป้อนพอแล้วป้อนพอแล้วเข้าใจแล้วประมาณนี้
Okay so Wasana enough I already understand well
So you get it what he want to say Okay and this is Nameless from Twisted Mind Yay you guys we already finished this week and this is the first week only for the second half of our league we still have 2 more weeks to go so stay tuned but now back to you Shoutcaster
Heard from the man, they hope to beat BRU, but they actually have done it before. That's how they became the first team in SDA to qualify WC. But to do it 2 times, well, that's going to be historical. So good luck to Twisted Minds in the future rounds as we first week of the second half.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting past couple of days of casting. I'm not gonna lie. Both again, we're seeing different sides of each of these groups now feeling that pressure that they're running out of time to qualify for that top 12.
Yeah, there's still how is it? 24 rounds for each of these teams before we close out the knockout stage and proceed to point rush. But even the race to top one at this point is going to be a mountain to climb, right? Someone has to set a world record, an incredible run in one of the days to RU. But again, group stage is for bragging rights. When you get into the grand finals, that's where you really cement yourself as at the best. But today has been full of surprises. We've a lot of teams really step up to the occasion, and also some that fell short.
Yep, many teams were trying different things, but we got to give it to our MVP of this game. Twisted Minds playing very hot today, being proactive across the map and getting a lot of the eliminations, a majority of them actually, for Twisted Minds throughout today.
Even in the final sequence, right, it was Diamond and Nameless, the dynamic duo, to get to kind of put in the finishing touches onto BRU. 9 eliminations, really setting the bar for just total eliminations collected by a single individual. She took at the Booyah team stats as well. The double Tatsuya, they even bringing a Skylar, and it's just Nameless in a supported role. In this case, making sure that he also has his own flavor, right? Usually people will take the Skylar, or sometimes you take the Chrono, but not Nameless.
Yep, I mean, that wonders for WAG and as well as Twisted Minds, especially when it comes down to the squad v squad, and especially whoever you're tethering to is taking that damage first, right? The fast recoveries making all the difference here. Saming unfortunately may not have gotten the best game that he's played so far, only finding 3 assists this time, no headshots whatsoever, and even the damage number is not on his side. But overall, his team, the rest of his team, definitely feel a lot warmer today.
Yeah, it does feel like it. We even have Diamond, we talked about him, 9 eliminations, followed by Exposy, Get High. Man, someone from AG Global always slips into the top 5 elim leaders every single round, but cannot forget about Wasana, who has 3 for himself, utilizes the Cassie with electrotherapy, but it's good to see that, for Twisted Minds, they stick to what they believe in, and that landed them the win. Key players, damage dealt, Cougar, medic of the game, and Wasana the builder.
Yep, and that's what we want to see, right? We want to see people start getting really creative with their compositions and how that's going to affect their overall gameplay. I mean, Nameless can keep up with his rusher while still keeping him tethered without breaking that distance, because he can buy the active skills of Tatsuya in the market itself, right? Having that extra dash makes him a legitimate threat as well, not just Nameless. But our MVP leaders at the end of it has to go to RRQ's Val with 6 MVPs, 85 elims, and then we look at some of the other elimination leaders with only 4 MVPs, with Wasana in second place and Diamond in third.
That's why only Mao was smiling in that picture. Everyone else is stoic because they haven't been in first place just yet. Game standing though, Twisted Minds, 26 points for them, and BRU once more racking up 19 despite not winning, followed by AG Global, then Heavy and PE Sports, one of the better rounds for the 2 Vietnamese teams.
Oh, absolutely, of course. But in terms of eliminations, as our previous map, definitely a lot more conclusive with their fights. With the Day 12 summary already listed out, we see that BRU still in that top spot, earning themselves 127 points, a ridiculous amount of points because of their 52 placement points and 75 eliminations, topping the
Minds able to overtake BTR despite just getting a Booyah, and the only difference maker was eliminations. BTR had a strong start, shaky mid-game, but the end game, not really what we were looking for. Round 4, game 5 and 6 was kind of a bit of a miss for BTR. Surprisingly enough, even AG Global, as much as we say that they kind of flew under the radar, they still clocked in 91 points, and I mean, for me, that's more than enough.
That's why everybody changed their position to let's play for position to let's play for elimination points, and we definitely see those being applied here today. We look at the overall standings, and of course BRU breaking the 800 mark already, no problems with 9 Booyahs and 48 games already played. This team just seems to
never a bad day for BRU. It's just it's a horrible day for everyone else, right? On their bad days, they still outshine most people. RQ second, that one without a shadow of doubt. AG still remains in third place. Twisted Minds fourth, and WAG, they finished top 5 by the end of the week. I think a lot of fans for WAG will be very happy to see their development after the latest patch, and I hope they keep this up for the final 2 weeks of knockout stage.
Then when we look over to the point rush qualification, Onyx gets dropped down to 13th as PE Sports and managed to hold that 12th position. It's still very close ties between PE, Onyx, and as well as Heavy, but even the Star Knights might be able to bump up if they have a hot day. But we still have 2 weeks worth of play, and our weekly predator for week number 4 goes over to AG Cypher.
The craziest thing is that there is Cypher, Wasana, Duke, Koga. Diamond wouldn't have been on that list if he didn't score eliminations in that final round. So really edging out in terms of the numbers and finishing in top 3. So congratulations to all these 5 players. It's good to see that the weekly predator leader always changes, right? Back then, it's probably Wasana 5 out of 6 times, but now everyone has a shot being one of the deadliest players of the week.
And that's what I'm saying. The Free Fire competitive scene is really coming to a point where it's hitting its competitive ceiling, right? Yes, you are going to have outstanding players, but at the same time, the average competitor is looking to go toe-to-toe with some of the best. The skill gap really has shrunken down.
Still get shrunken down, and the regions continues to toughen up, and Thailand keeps showing us new technology, right? BRU no longer the best. Indonesia coming out strong in second. BTR RQ Kazu, one of their best seasons so far. Performance, I can say the same for BTR. But then it also kind of pulls them ahead of everyone else. Like Vietnam is struggling a little bit with WAG being the exception. Malaysia, though, I mean, we really got to step up because we are in bottom 3, and the cutoff point right now is Todak and Star Knights, and we need 35 points to tie up with them. We still have 2 more weeks to go. Hopefully, we can make some progress.
It definitely sounds possible.